Hi, everybody. Sorry I was so late. Like, I was in the back studio talking to our guest, the very first, well, documented MAGA rapper that there ever was, 2016, 2017. A man named Bo. He moved from New York State down to Florida so he could live in the free state of Florida. And he's got two children. And by the grace of God, I'll let him tell his story real quickly. And then we'll get into a video real quick that he rapped all of Trump's accomplishments. We got a couple of videos that we're going to react to together and talk about it after. But here is Bo Knows the Truth. What's up, homie?
Hey, what's going on? Thank you for having me on.
You're welcome. I
Appreciate
like
it.
this view right here better.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
All right, so really quickly, before we get into the Trump accomplishments, now what got you started rapping? And what got you started to think like I'm moving out of New York State and your family? What's up? Tell me.
It all started when there was because I'm Israeli, so I would get very agitated when I started seeing bombs being dropped on Israel. So
Mm.
that started then. I started coming out with raps, just no beat, nothing. Just want I wanted them to just hear what I have to say. And when I say I went viral, I got like 3,000 views or something. And to me at that time, I was like, whoa, that's more than 9 views, like. And so I said, people really have a hunger for the truth. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm not doing it really for me. I just wanted the truth out there. But as long as people are listening, that's great. So I started doing that. And then Trump came out. And I started noticing a big reaction from people when it came to Trump. Like my closest friend says, I can't stand Trump's face. Who says that? You know what I mean? About someone you
TDS.
don't, yeah, exactly. So that's when I started seeing signs of TDS. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to make a video saying what I think, because for many years I didn't like to speak about politics because I felt like I didn't know enough to even have an opinion. Even though I did, I just didn't feel confident in my opinion. I had a friend that was into socialism. I'm like, what's that? Like, I don't even know. You know what I mean? Like, and I thought because he's smart, maybe he knows what he's talking about. So I started saying, you know what? I need to write something about Trump or about the truth of what I believe. And I said, where do I begin? And that was what it was. The first one was called Where Do I Begin? And
Where do
that
you
one,
begin? That's the video
yeah,
that you started first.
yeah, that was on Facebook. I put where do I begin? And I got like 3-4 million views, something like that, or something like that around that number. I don't remember, but I got a lot of attention from that because obviously Trump and gets a reaction out of people. A lot of it was hate. A lot of them was the crazy libs, sending
My
me death threats and all
God.
that. But that's when I feel like I was onto something. People really are vibing with what I'm saying, and I have no beat. So you can't say, and people were commenting on things that I would say at the end of my rap. So that means they listen to the whole thing. I don't listen to the whole thing of much of anything. If I watch a YouTube video 10, 20 seconds in, I'm bored, I'm moving on. People are commenting like, hey, that line you said, and I'm like, that was at the end. Like, so I started thinking a lot of people really like this stuff. So I started doing more and more videos like that until I started getting banned all over the place. And once I started getting banned, I was very discouraged. I felt like I'm doing all this work and I'm getting nothing out of it. Forget money or this. People are not even hearing what I'm saying. So I'm speaking to the walls. So I said, no, maybe I need to set up a podcast to get people to really listen and divert my audience to a different platform that won't censor me. And I started working with Kingface. Kingface is a conservative thug, one of the most important people in our movement, man. Like he was amazing. Told the truth, said it how it is. He lived in Queens as well, and so I said, "Oh, he lives in Queens. Let me share one of his videos." I shared one of his videos. I got like 20, 30,000 views, something like that on it, and it caught his attention. He reached out to me. We started talking, and we met up at the recording at the podcast studio that I was in the process of building. Started talking to him. We had a couple of meetings about it, that we were going to be co-hosts. We had an engineer. We had a silent investor on top of it all. Plus, he had his following. I had my following, give us a good boost, and we started to work on that. And then coronavirus just came out of nowhere. My son was about to be born in like a month's time, so I left my career and I dropped my career for just to be home, to be with my son. And then during that time, we were on lockdowns. My son was born. Kingface ended up passing away in the summer of 2020, from what I believe was a systemic um, infection throughout his body. I
Oh
don't think it
no.
was COVID, because if it was COVID, it would have been very clear that that's what it was. But he was suffering from some kind of system-wide infection. Um, so he ended up passing away. And once he passed away, I got even more discouraged, because I felt like the one person that believed in me and was willing to put his name next to my name, and he already had a huge following. He just finished the Candace Owens show. I couldn't believe this guy's willing to even work. He told me, he said, Bo, don't worry about anything right now. I got you. Like, we're good. We're gonna take it to the top. So when he passed away, I felt like, all right, banned all over the place, silenced, all this work for nothing, coronavirus lockdowns. I need to move out of New York. New York is very draconian. A lot of mask Karens out there. Can't be yourself. Can't say what you believe without, fear of retaliation from your job or for friends or whatever. I said, you know what? Let me just get out of here. Let me focus on that. So I stopped doing videos. I stopped writing. I ended up moving to Florida, and it was a big move. Brought my two kids out here, dropped my career, said I'm gonna start over. Maybe when I move to Florida, I'll have a fresh beginning. I'll do my videos and I'll get it popping again. And
Yeah.
2 weeks later into my move, my son, like during that time, my son had a fever for like a week or whatever, and it just wouldn't go away. So I brought him to urgent care. Then the doctor said, just come back if the symptoms don't go away in a few days. All right, came back, it still won't go away. Long story short, one of the doctors said, go to the hospital and just get checked out. You just want to be safe. You don't know if he might have meningitis or pneumonia or whatever, so get it checked out. Brought him to the hospital. They ordered a chest X-ray, and that's where the doctors found lung cancer in my son,
Little
almost 2 years
baby
old.
too. Oh my God, I can't imagine. That's like the parents, especially you're a paramedic, so have all of your training. You see sick kids, sick older people. You know exactly. You go through the schooling and the training, and and it's like nothing prepares you for that. No amount of
Nothing.
schooling or training when it's your own young. It's like, oh my, it's every parent's worst nightmare come true. You had a lot.
Absolutely.
How many followers on Facebook did you have before they shut you down?
Mm, I think it was like a little over 100,000 followers, and that was in a very short amount of that was like in a month or something. Like
Jeez.
I had like 30,000 followers for a while, and then one of my videos went so viral that it just went all the way up like over 100. And then I noticed every day since I've been banned, I've been losing followers like 10 or 20 a day. And I remember every day, like even there was a time where I was writing it, but then I got to the point where I'm like, why do I care so much about who, like, like just leave it, who cares?
Right.
And then it went down to like 80, and now it's like back up a little over 90, only because I've been a little bit more active. I think Facebook kind of left me alone a little bit, but I'm still shadow banned because my latest video that I came out with, which is called Do You Want to Know What Rhymes with Joe Biden, got like, I think I shared it to my personal Facebook, which is like 15,000 followers, and I got like 4 likes. So, you know what I mean? Like, that's how I know I'm being shadow banned. And
Ever since that Hunter Biden stuff, but before, people don't realize that that's only when they got caught, is when because they've
exactly.
been shadow banning people, community double standards, I like to call them. I got off of Facebook entirely. I was like, F this. Somebody had made a fake Facebook profile of me, like the
Me
cover
too.
page. Like,
Hmm.
isn't it crazy? Like
Yeah.
they picked
Hmm.
like something that only they know about, because you're like,
And I reported it, and I reported Facebook's like, this person doesn't violate the standards or whatever. So I have a copy of
exactly.
me somewhere out there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. So I was like, you know what, I'm done. And it's like one of the best things that ever happened, because I get so mad. It's like, oh, I'm in Facebook jail again, and telling my friends, hey, if anybody asks, I'm in Facebook jail. Oh, what did you do? I got sick of that. I'm like, plus I don't want people to know where I am. I don't post where I am that second. Like, I'll post after I'm gone so nobody can
Yeah.
stalk me. Like yourself, I've been doxxed. My address has been put on a live chat when I had like over 500 people. I had pizzas sent to my home. I call the cops. I don't care. I put security cameras up all over the place. I haven't had a home without security cameras since. I got a 120-pound Rottweiler, a 100-pound German Shepherd. Like, please don't break into my house, because my dogs might kill somebody, and I don't
Oh
want my
no. Oh
dogs to be
no. See
euthanized, man.
this? See this right here? See this right here? I wish someone would fucking try to come into my house.
Right.
Now I fucking wish you would.
Now I
You know what I'm
see it.
saying? Give me a reason to use this. You know what I mean? Like in New York, it's different. You walk out of your front door, you're in public. You know what I mean? You look around, you can anyone and their mother can come to your front door and knock. I'm in a
Right.
private property now. All right. So
Right.
there's different laws out here.
How do you feel
um,
about the governor Michelle Lujan? She had of New Mexico, Democrat, of course. She literally bans the Second Amendment. It lasts not even what 48 hours before they shut her down. What do you feel about that? Can you
yeah,
believe that shit?
it's overreach. It's government overreach, just like throughout COVID. That's what they tried to do is just test the limits, test the compliance, see who's listening, see who's not, and then adjust from there. I think it was just a test run for to see who's compliant. You can't suspend our constitutional rights. It is absolute, actually. That's the point. That's why this country is so great that the whole world wants to come here. That's why we have millions of people hopping over a border to get here. It's because it's so
Yeah,
great here, you know.
of
Um,
course, of course.
so these governors are just they're all part of the same agenda of overreach and overall taking away our rights slowly and slowly, slow at a time, one little right at a time. You know what I
I
mean?
heard something interesting today that China is meeting. Who are they meeting with? I forget who they're meeting with, but the new world order it started, and they're meeting with somebody like they are the top uh economy in the world. I think China's number 2 in the world. And so they didn't even show up to like another world economics bull crap because or summit. It was a summit. They knew like we America has fallen so far, and for people who seemingly forgotten the
Hmm.
accomplishments, which I don't know how you wrapped these accomplishments of Donald Trump, because there's like over, I believe, 200 if I'm not mistaken.
This was pre-COVID, by the way.
Okay.
This was
Okay.
pre-COVID. So imagine any time after that, what he's accomplished as far as exposing the deep state and getting people to understand like that this election was normal and this and that. I mean, this I could go down. I could do this for a long time. You haven't heard it yet, but yeah, that was one of my favorites because I remember people say, "What has Trump even done? What has Trump even done for the country?" Well, I wrapped it for you. You
We're gonna
know,
listen to it. You ready to listen to it? It's only like
are
3 minutes long, right? 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes long. Yeah, I want to hear it because I've never heard it before. But I stumbled upon you on Twitter and I was like, I'm like, this dude knows the truth. And that's what you are on Twitter too. So I have like I love the truth. And I think so many people today are truth phobic. They're so afraid of the truth. They're scared to tell the truth because they feel like, oh, these facts might hurt your feelings or something. And I'm over here
exactly.
like, facts don't give a shit about how you feel. It's not going to
That's why I
change the
said
fact that they're facts.
if I end up becoming famous because I'm telling the truth, then that's just meant for me. That was God's will for me.
Well,
I don't want to lie and become famous because then you're famous for not the right reasons and it might backfire on you. I think if you just speak truth, then only truth will be your path in life. So whatever you do will end up being will encompass that truth.
facts, absolute facts. You know, it's like your Eminem rap. Like I was like, holy shit balls. You know, I feel like that Eminem diss track was so well done because you called it out. Like he was so anti-establishment from the get-go. Like that's how he became famous, being the underdog, being made fun of because of his race and everything else. And you know, he's just Obama's dick is like right in his mouth with Joe Biden's up his rear end. You know, it's I don't
Yeah,
know
he's
yet.
a puppet. He's a puppet, and it was very disappointing to see the most anti-establishment rapper, the one that just says no to the government. It's that literally kissing the ass of the government. And when I say that, I mean like Trump's the only person that everyone in the government hated. So if you hate the government, don't you want the guy that the government hates? Like,
Yeah, the one that's being indicted ridiculous for nothing, for nothing for
yeah,
400 years. It's facing 400 years in prison. Well, everyone on the Epstein list, nothing, crickets,
exactly,
including
exactly.
Eminem. Eminem was on Epstein Island for crying out loud. Why was he on there? It plagues my mind daily. Like, oh, do you have any balls to say anything about Donald Trump? Fuck you, Eminem.
I really kind of don't want to know the truth of that one. If I
I
find
don't
out that
either.
Eminem is a pedophile, oh, that'll just ruin my whole. I can't. Please, just just say you went on, just find out that you went on a plane, just to, then like Trump, and found out that you don't like the shenanigans going on and you never went back. That I'll take. But
I don't know,
yeah,
man. I don't think it's that
yeah,
easy. But we don't know. We'll never know. We'll never
exactly.
know. But I
No,
want
I
to play
think
this.
we'll know if Trump wins again. I think then we'll know.
Man, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm praying like every day. I'm praying for world peace, and I'm praying for Trump to win. All right, let's do these accomplishments because I'm so fascinated to see how you rap this. And again, I like what you said that you don't put any beats to your raps because you want people to
Sometimes
hear.
once in a blue out, just to people ask me, can you please put a beat, and I'm like, I do it this way because I want you to really hear what I'm saying, and I get where they're coming from because a beat just makes it a little bit more exciting. I'll switch it up a little bit, but most my thing is spoken word, so they can differentiate.
It's amazing. All right, is this spoken word or is there a beat to it? I don't know.
This is spoken word. This is
Awesome.
spoken word.
All right, you ready?
Mhm.
All right, let's do this. I say,
if you saw Trump through my eyes, you can obviously see
oh
Trump
my
hasn't done
God.
anything for this country. Can you even name one thing that he's done?
Let's see. Passed the First Step Act, of course, plus the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. That's criminal justice and tax reform. Canceled NAFTA, passed the USMCA, added more than 6 million jobs. Plus, we have more of us in the workforce than we had before. Latino, Asian, and Black unemployment rates reported to be at the lowest it's ever been recorded. Sworn Brett Kavanaugh and appointed Justice Neil Gorsuch to the Supreme Court. The historic meeting with North Korea's leader in Singapore gave pay increases to the troops in the armed forces, imposed tariffs on China's imports, withdrew the U.S. from the Paris Climate Accord, expanded access to a country's natural resources, and turned the U.S. back to a net natural gas exporter. Signed a bill criminalizing animal torture, cut federal funding to groups like Planned Parenthood performing abortions, thousands of gang members deported, building a wall at the border in order to more Border Patrol agents in order to combat illegal immigration, signed an executive order to stop family separation and merit-based reform to end chain migration.
Wait a minute. CNN's telling me Trump's a racist who put kids in cages. If everything you're saying is true, how come I haven't seen it on the news? Stop playing. Look me in the eye and tell me one thing Trump has done for this nation.
Opportunity zones, higher wages, eliminated regulations that were stifling innovation, signed the right to try legislation and the Support for Patients and Communities Act to fight this opioid crisis, lowered prescription generic medication prices, median household income rises to its highest point in history, not to mention he obliterated ISIS, canceled the one-sided deal with Iran, won the case in the Supreme Court to uphold the travel ban, lifted almost 5 million Americans off of food stamps, passed the VA Mission Act as part of his plan to take care of our veterans properly, moved the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem as promised, plus we got a booming economy, consumer confidence is through the roof. I mean, if you really think about it, it's mind-boggling how he's doing this all while trying to battle the mainstream media's propaganda machines' dishonesty, constantly brainwashing us with fake news, hysteria, smears, and lies to cause racial divide and animosity. Free speech is under siege by the social media tech giant monopolies, silencing anybody they choose with shadow algorithms and facial recognition technology. Democrats in Congress undermining democracy, making a mockery of due process and pushing identity politics, witch hunts, hoaxes, subpoenas, probes, impeachment proceedings, hypocrisy. It's a godforsaken monstrosity. Corrupt politicians in Washington, Hollywood elites, the media deep state complex has honestly got to be the FBI's Peter Strzok and Lisa Page's insurance policy, right? I mean, obviously.
Holy shit.
Now,
Holy
I know you're probably going to go back and fact check every claim I made in this rap to try to debunk it and rebuttal it, but it's cool. Just know that even if only some of it was true, Trump has still done more for this country than any Democrat in office has ever done for you.
Holy
You.
the classic liberal the classic liberal response, unless like they start with like getting your looks. That's what they go. As soon as you know that they go ahead and insult your looks is when you know you've won.
Exactly.
You've just pissed them off to that point where that love and tolerance comes out.
Exactly. They're such hypocrites, man.
Oh my!
The loving left.
Oh my God, yeah, right. They don't love their own mother, I think. My God, man. They especially don't like anything to do with Christianity, my Lord.
Yeah, exactly. Anything that has to do with God. If you notice, a lot of the liberals, a lot of the people that can't stand people with TDS, they just don't believe in God. It's just weird. It's a weird common denominator. They don't believe in God, and so they think they're God, and that they decide what's moral and what's not, and what's right and what's wrong, and then they they attack your character to discredit the information coming out of your mouth. So if I'm speaking the truth and you call me a piece of shit, then it doesn't matter what I say, because now you'll just think, oh, a piece of shit saying this, so it must not be true. Same thing with Trump. A lot of time Trump says the truth, but it doesn't sound good, so they don't take what he says at face value because of how he says it or who he is or who he had sex with in the past, but listen to what he's saying. Because remember in that rap I just said Lisa Page's Peter Strzok and Lisa Page's insurance policy. Whenever I'm
Yes.
debating with a liberal and I say, what's the insurance policy? The FBI lovers, what is that? If they can't answer that, I'm like, you're not qualified to even have this debate right now. You don't even know what the insurance policy means. And that's a big part of it.
You know, I think they believe they watch CNN and MSNBC, and they watch these people like Maxine Waters, The View. They get a lot of their information from The View. I think I just think they are just brainwashed, you know, and a lot of people claim that the people on Trump's side are a part of a cult. And I'm over here like, so like if I were to come across a Biden supporter, even though I don't like him, I don't ridicule you, and I don't you know, I don't attack you for, you know, I don't you can't be canceled, you know, you can't
we look at Biden supporters as misinformed. They look at us like we have, you know, malice behind our intent. Like, you know, we're in a cult. If we were in a cult, then why was everyone booing Trump when he was for the vaccines? Like,
wow. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I mean, and now we could peel that and say, okay, you look back, you know, maybe he was for it, but only to get us out of the lockdowns, and you could justify it. But at the time, I was like, what is he doing? And I got mad at Candace Owens for not asking him and beating him down with those questions with the vaccine. He kept deflecting off of that, and I think he was playing politics, or he was just being very
reading a teleprompter is what he was doing. If you can tell, 100%. It's on his Twitter page. It's on his Twitter page right before January 6th that happened. And, you know, he was talking, you could just tell when Trump is reading from a teleprompter and when he's not. When he's freestyling it, he's compassionate. He speaks what's on his mind. But when he's on a teleprompter, he is just robotic. And you could just tell he's like looking dead into the camera. When he's freestyling, he's looking all over the place. It's a tell that I mean, I study him. I watch him.
He even freestyles during teleprompters. You know, I'll see he'll say something that sounds like teleprompt, and then he'll freestyle a thought of what he just said and then go back to it. He's really, really good at it. And obviously for many years he's been in show business. He knows the deal. I always said Trump's willingness to just speak his mind is a gift and a curse. It's a double-edged sword. It's a gift because we have the gift of knowing what he's thinking. We have the gift of knowing. You might not like what he's thinking, but he's speaking his truth, right? But it's also a double-edged sword. Sometimes Trump, you just don't say anything yet. Just let them bury themselves. Let them bury themselves. You don't have to comment on every little jab that they have at you. Let them look stupid. But he has this pride thing, you know, he's Trump, and that's just who he is. And you know what? It is what it is. We need someone like that with boldness to take on the deep state. I like some things about DeSantis. I like some things about Vivek. I like some things about Robert F. Kennedy, but they're just not it now. Maybe 2028. Maybe.
How did you feel about
it's a war? We need a soldier.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. I think we need somebody that people like Putin respected. He was respected.
Exactly.
We didn't have any sort of bullcrap like we do now. No war in Ukraine. Americans were being helped. The veterans, especially human trafficking, all sorts of, or, you know, he donated almost every bit of his presidential salary. I believe it was like he kept $1 from his whole 4 years because he donated it to make veterans be taken care of better, human trafficking organizations to aid the stop of human trafficking. But like ever since Biden opened up the border, you know, human trafficking has exploded. The people dying from fentanyl are 300 per day. Our veterans are still sleeping on the streets. It's people need to wake up and see, like, who does Biden associate with? Why can Biden commit all of these crimes? Because, well, he's a puppet for everybody, all these elitists from the WEF, and he's a puppet. He does whatever he's told. So therefore, he's immune to pay for the crimes, you know, the Bitcoin and all kinds of stuff. What do
you say to the leftists that say it's not that they have an evil agenda, it's that they're just incompetent? What do you say to that? Yeah,
And
just incompetence. They don't know what they're doing. They're ruining this country because they're idiots. They're stupid. See, I argue and say I don't think they're stupid. I think they know exactly what they're doing because they are smart. Joe Biden is he's not an idiot. He might be old and slow and but he didn't get to where he is because he's stupid. If he's stupid, he wouldn't be able to maneuver the political system to get there.
Right.
So I hate that argument that it's just incompetence and clear. It could be both. It could be both. They have an agenda and they're also bad at their job, which is why every time Trump says something, like throughout these last few years, we've just seen them take L after L after L. And they say, well, they won the election. Yeah, but you didn't win it nice and clean where there's no doubt. Like you won it in a way that there is so much questions, and the fact that you don't want to recount or don't want an audit, it just shows that you're playing a double standard game.
You tweeted something. It just reminded me of that because you and me agree on the whole 81 million votes. My ass, no way, shape, or form. But I screenshot it because it was so funny. You had tweeted this was in 2021 on August 16th. You said all of Joe Biden's voters would be turning in their graves right now if they saw what he's doing to this.
You know, it's true. His voters would be turning in their graves right now if they knew what he was doing. It's facts.
My God, that was so funny. I'm like, I gotta grab that because it was so funny. It's just, it makes me like how you say, it's incompetence. No, hell no, it's not. They've been playing the system. They've networked and networked over the years. They've pushed their boundaries, their limits to see who they can push their limits with, how much it cost. They're very calculated.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because I'll tell you what, if you or I see we did anything remotely to what Hunter has done or Biden has done, Obama, if we had a chef that was found naked and dead in our pond after he posted on Instagram that he could swim and he was writing a tell-all, where would we be? Where would we be if we were cheating our taxes? Where would we be if we lied on a gun application? Like we'd be in jail. We'd be in prison. And it's no, they're not incompetent in the slightest. I wish they were. I wish we could blame it on incompetence. I think it's the agenda, the evil ass agenda that they're pushing. They don't care who they hurt. They don't give a shit about Americans. We're just in the way. My God.
It's so true. It's so true. And that's why I hate that argument, because it's a conspiracy theory in their own right. You think Trump is a Russian spy for Putin? You're a conspiracy theorist then. So I'm a conspiracy theorist on the right. You're a conspiracy theorist on the left. Technically, we both don't know what's going on, right? So we both have to get down to the truth. That's why it bothers me that the left doesn't want to at least find out the truth. All right, you think that Trump is full of shit and he's lying about the election being stolen. By the way, are we allowed to talk about that? Because I want to get you canceled.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, I'm already, man. Already. Shit.
All right. So let's talk about the election quick. My friend says, how do you know the election was stolen? I was like, because I watched it live. I saw it with my own eyes. He goes, what do you mean? I'm like, did you watch the election? Yeah, I did. I'm like, did you ever see it stop before? Did you ever see that we didn't know the president by the end of the night? Did you ever see that before? So that alone calls into question of the legitimacy of the election, right? That's number one. Number two, when you can talk about 2,000 mules and ballot drops and harvesting and this, that, and the other, and they said judges, it's no evidence. The truth is that the evidence has not been in front of a judge to actually judge on it. They left it with they said it has no standing, and the reason why they said it has no standing is because it's hard to prove what the results contributed to. Did it change the election? How many votes were changed? So it's hard to prove that because you have to have a whole case about it. So they say it lacks standing. Forget that part. The fact that the FBI contacted Twitter and paid Twitter $30 million to censor the Hunter Biden laptop story before the election.
Facebook too.
Facebook too. They're all complicit. And that's what I'm saying. That alone is election interference. Now they say, well, how do you know that would have changed the results of the election? Because a lot of independents say if they would have seen that story, they would not have voted for Biden. Not saying they would have voted for Trump, but they would not have voted for Biden. So he wouldn't have had those votes. I don't care what you say. He won, didn't win. Let's just do a recount. Re-election. This time, voter ID, no internet, paper ballots only. Let's do it and prove me wrong. You ever heard of Michael Rappaport?
Oh,
Okay.
Can't not stand him. That if
Me,
you ever want to know what Trump derangement syndrome looks like, just hop on his Twitter. That's all he posts about. And
that's who he is.
he looks like he's about to like hemorrhage. Like I'm
Foam
waiting
in the
for like
mouth. He gets so mad. He hates Trump so bad because think about it like this. He says after Trump won, he goes, "Let's do a recount." Yeah, I want to see that motherfucker lose again. I'm like, I agree. Let's do a recount. Let's do it. Let
I
prove
wish
me
they would
wrong.
have.
They
That's
wouldn't do
what
it. They want
January
to
6th was all about. People went to the
exactly.
Capitol. They wanted a recount. No one was stopping an election. No one was stopping Joe Biden from succeeding or Trump from conceding that election. Nobody was stopping that. No one was trying to overturn the government. We wanted a recount. That is what that was all about.
Right, right.
Unfortunately, people ran their mouths and the feds, they listened to everything. So they put their plants in there. Look, if people want to know what Biden and Obama and Hillary Clinton, if they want to know what kind of crimes, if any leftists out there, you're in denial, what prove to me what crimes they have done. Just look at everything that they've indicted and blamed Donald Trump for. It's exactly what they have done. That is a Russian
Classic projection. Yep.
right, exactly. It is. It's so simple. It's right underneath their noses, but they refuse to see it. Like I voted for Obama twice, and when the second term, there was a housing crisis. Like literally, I was caught up in that, and I was a single parent, and I was by myself, and I had a predatory loan from a bank because like I was 23 years old. I didn't have good credit, but I had $40,000 down. So my grandpa died. He gave me some money. I bought a home with it, and they weren't even supposed to give me this loan in the first place. It had an adjustable mortgage rate. There was a balloon payment of 50 grand due in 17 years. It was just not going to happen.
Yeah.
My
Right.
mortgage rate kept going up and down and up and down, 900 a month, 600 a month, blah blah
Oh,
blah.
it's brutal.
Yeah, it really was because you can never budget when you have an adjustable mortgage rate. Well, I fell behind, and of course, I was self-medicating because I was in just ended a very long, abusive, physically, emotionally, mentally, sexual, whatever, the whole damn gamut of abuse I suffered under my first son's father. And so I was by myself, and I fell behind. I was doing drugs because I was self-medicating, and everybody who had predatory loans or just people falling on hard times because our economy with Obama was shit, despite what people want
Exactly.
to think. Bullshit. He had
Hmm.
us into a recession. Do you seemingly forget? So with the recession that hit, you know, the he had a choice.
Well,
Obama had a
they
choice.
blamed it on Bush. They blamed it on Bush.
Of course, because everything it's got to be the president before. So anything that happens today under Biden
I
is
mean,
Trump's fault. But
with all to keep it fair, George Bush
ugh,
bailed out all those banks and insurance companies during the bailouts, right? And there was
yeah,
I'm not going to quote the money, but there's a bunch of it missing. Um,
of
it's like
course. Same
they
with
can't account for
Obama.
like $1 trillion, and then Obama took over and took credit for bringing the economy back, but he didn't even bring it like fully back to where Trump had it in his
Mhm,
4-year term. It was just a lot of smoke and mirrors with Obama. I think
ex-
Obama
ex-
was just there to calm everyone the fuck down because they were done with Bush. They were done with the deep state, with the war in Iraq and this stealing the oil. They don't know what to believe, the bailouts and this, and they said, you know what, put this guy in. But
Never
to
trust a
me,
politician though that is in it and becomes mega rich. He was only worth 600 grand when he was elected president the first time. And the second term is when he also bailed out the banks and screwed every American. That's why so many people had so many foreclosures, the housing crisis of
mhm,
2006, I believe. Oh
2008
yeah. Was it
was it eight?
2008? I
Yeah,
don't
2008.
it
I
was
was in
either
mortgages
2000.
at the time. I used to be a loan officer at that time, and I remember 50 banks went out of business in like 1 week. I couldn't believe it. I was
Yeah.
like, this is insane.
I was so
Um,
upset with him. I was like, "You son of a bitch. I voted for you and this is what you do. You bail out." We're begging him. Like begging him, "Obama, bail us out. We're the American people. In order for us to survive, bail us out." You know what he did? He turned his back on us and like, "Screw you." And he bailed out the
exactly.
banks instead, which really hurt it was like, damn. And like with Vivek Ramaswamy, like I'm sorry, but I, I know people out there support him, but like ever since he came up and was on the scene, like I'm sorry, I've had a gut feeling about him. Just and like one of my dear friends is really into politics, and she's a Trump supporter as well. She brings up, she's like, "How do you feel about Vivek saying that he doesn't want to fund Israel anymore?" And I'm over here like, like
I kind of agree with that.
you do.
I kind of do, because I think if now, don't get me wrong, I think Israel does need aid as long as they can utilize it in a way until they reach their independent state. But I
Yeah.
think as long as they're getting aid from America, then America has a say in their politics and their policies. If Israel has interference from another country coming in with their views and this, that, they won't give them the chance to stand on their own feet. You got to, instead of giving them fish, teach them how to fish. But
Right. I get
they're
it.
kind of they're kind of funding them to have a say. The one thing I don't like about Vivek, now Vivek sounds great, don't get me wrong. Number one, it's Trump's rightful heir to the throne. That's the way I look at it. But let's say Trump wasn't in the picture. Vivek is one of the conservatives speaking the truth. One thing I don't like about Vivek, and it rubbed me the wrong way, and you can say what you want, but it rubbed me the wrong way. What was it? He was asked if he would take the vice president position
Oh
with
yeah,
Trump.
yeah, yeah. He said no.
He said no. But I thought Trump is one of the best presidents of our generation, of our, of the last 100 years. You talk, why wouldn't you accept the vice president position to work for that man that you praise so much? His excuse was his policies can't be, he can't do what he needs to do if he's in that seat. He needs to be the president. I can kind of understand that, but he was playing politics to try to appease the left and the right in that. Now we need boldness. We need someone to say with full conviction the absolute truth, not to play around and play. We don't need politics right now. We're at war right now. We need someone to just say what needs to be and do what needs to be done. Period. I don't care what the left thinks. Put it like this: Trump shut down all travel from China into our country during COVID. He was
Yep.
the only one that wanted to do that. Even Dr. Fauci standing next to him told him like they don't want to do that. So everyone around Trump said no, but he did what needed to be done, no matter how much people were going to call him xenophobic or racist, whatever the fuck. So he did what
Right.
needed to be done. Imagine how many lives he saved just by doing that. Just by
Right.
doing that.
Well, I don't like I think Vivek is very smooth. But here's what, like, I will pardon Donald Trump very first day I'm in office. It's like it's Obama 2.0. Like you're telling
Yeah.
us what we want to hear.
Yeah. He's
You
soothing
know,
us. Just like
he
Obama soothed us with his voice. So we were like old babies with a bottle.
what I don't understand
You
is
know,
like I
it's just
found a
keep everyone
video.
quiet.
Right. I found a video that was scrubbed. I couldn't find it. I've seen it once and then it was gone. And I dug deep into TikTok. And I hate TikTok, but I have a TikTok page. Please,
Me too.
Jesus, please, man. I do. I can't stand TikTok. But I got on there because I knew I could find anything on there and Twitter. But it wasn't on Twitter either. So I found the video of Obama saying the Dominion voting system is rigged. Like who controls the government, who is in office, controls the votes. And he could say it. Hillary Clinton could say it was an illegitimate election. He's an illegitimate president. Michael Rappaport. All of these people can say he was an illegitimate president. Nobody gets charged.
Jerry Nadler, he was very adamant about the
Oh,
elections.
Nadler,
Yeah, that could
man.
be stolen. They could
Yep.
mess with the machines and this and that. But because it's Trump, they're just completely dismissing that, because like I said, it's better for them to have their way and have Biden in there than have Trump in, because if Trump's in any longer, he's going to expose them all, put them all in jail. And they're fighting for their lives. So that's why they'll put a brain dead old guy in there, but they don't care who's there as long as it's not Trump. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think now people ask why Tucker came out with that interview that Obama's gay. Like, what's the point of that now? I think the point is just to get ahead of the curve of they're going to get rid of Biden, put Michelle Obama in there, but now she's not going to stand a chance because of what story came out about Obama. It's going to add too many questions. So I think that was a proactive way to kind of give it to them, you know?
Barf, man. Barf. And then their chef, a robust, muscular black man, ends up naked in his pond while paddleboarding.
And they
Excuse
lied
me.
about being at the house, and then they really were there. Oh, they're
They
done.
were
There's
on
no
the
Michelle Obama.
911 tapes, dude. They were on the tape, the 911 tape. I'm over here like, so he's writing a tell-all, and then he dies. But the same week, the Clinton chef dies the same way, drowning accident in the same week. And he was about to write a tell-all
Was
book
it the
too.
same? Was it? Are you sure it was the same week?
Yes,
I
it was the
did
same
hear about
week.
her chef also died or drowned by drowning, but I didn't
Yes,
know it was the same. Are
in
you kidding? The same week?
Mexico. Same
Oh
freaking week,
no!
within like 6 days of each other. It was
If that's true,
insane.
okay. So let's say that's true. I mean, either way, true or not, that's going to be too questionable. Like that election is going to be too questionable. So Michelle Obama's out. I know the second.
I said it would be America's first black man as president.
Oh my God.
Because well, the first African American male. Because
People
look,
say that Michelle Obama is a guy. Look, I don't know. Does she look like she could
God,
be
her
a guy?
shoulders
Yeah,
though.
yeah, the shoulders, the when she was dancing on the Oprah show or whatever, The View or whatever it was, you saw the little. I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, if Obama is gay, it's possible this that, but I don't even care about the whole gay part. I mean, the smoking crack thing. That's probably going to hit him harder than anything else because he admitted to doing coke in the past, but he never admitted to that. So just too many questions. And at the end of the day, who cares? Trump is the only one that needs to be in there because we're at war and we need Trump now. After the war's over and the deep state is taken care of and Russia's put in their place, China's put in their place. Okay, now we can talk about maybe a nice, smooth talking Vivek, or something like that.
Yeah, I
but
say
right
2028, but right now, no, we need somebody that's got balls that will save our country.
100%. And you know what? I would say if I was Vivek, I would have said, you know what? At the end of the day, we're at war. So if the American people choose Trump over me, yeah, I'll take his VP position. But if they choose me, if they choose me, they choose me. Let the American people. That's why he keeps saying, I'm not running against Trump. I'm not running against DeSantis. I'm running for the American people toward the presidency. Okay, well, if the American people don't choose you, they choose Trump. Don't you want to take the VP position? The thing is, I just don't like that he played politics with that answer. And I think that's the last thing we need. Who cares about appeasing the left at this point? Who gives a fuck about the left and appeasing them?
Well, you heard DeSantis' hot mic incident, right?
Which one was that? That was which one was that? Can you refresh my memory?
Yes, he was like, as soon as we get in there, I'm gonna go back to the middle on things that I went right on. Just we're just gonna go to the middle. Well, he had contributions in his donation fund from Fauci, Mitch McConnell, and the DNC. He took their donations for his presidential campaign. He didn't have to take those donations. He could have refused them, but he didn't. Dr. Fauci, Mitch McConnell, and the DNC. And so he was caught on a hot mic. Once we get in there, I'm going to go back to the middle, like on abortion and shit like that.
Yeah, he's playing politics, and we don't need that. And that's why people voted for Trump in the beginning. They didn't want that. Clearly didn't want that. They picked Trump.
Exactly.
Of all people, you know what I mean? They had Marco Rubio. They had what's his name?
I like Rubio. Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz. They had some good choices or whatever.
I would still like Ted Cruz though. I do like him. He's pretty good.
I like Ted Cruz, but he's
Ron DeSantis. No, he's not. And Ron DeSantis seemingly forgets that Florida, if it hadn't been for Donald Trump endorsing him, he would have never won to a crackhead who fiddled kids, who got caught in a hotel with kids. Motherfucker, what are you doing? Shut up, dude. You're biting.
And then when people were questioning him, like, are you going to run for president? Because we don't want you to become governor if you're just going to run for president. And he
said
was
no.
Dodging that. Like, yeah. Well, he was dodging it, deflecting it. And I'm like, you can't even be real with Floridians right now.
Yes.
Like, aren't you running for governor? Like, you need to be transparent. And I don't know what he's doing, not doing, but I just know that it's getting really bad out here as far as prices, as far as inflation, as far as the insurance companies leaving because of all the hurricanes and this and that. He's completely abandoned the state so he could run for himself. Trump's not running for himself. He's running for us. He's running for us.
he signed it and said that, hey, you're not going to know where I am. I'm not telling you. Don't even ask. He signed that. DeSantis did. Cat Warlord here says MTG is boss. I love Marjorie Taylor Greene. I just love how outspoken she is. I do. I think she is like the everything that AOC wishes she could be.
Exactly.
But doesn't.
Exactly. Just say
So
the truth. That's it. Why is it so hard to say men can't get pregnant? I mean, it wasn't controversial
when
until like a year ago. I mean, before that, it was just common knowledge. Like, just say the truth. Who cares that's the thing. It's the cancel culture. It's the fear of being canceled, because cancellation means losing your income,
yeah,
right?
this is my dear
Who's
friend. Yeah, she's
would
from
be a
Florida,
great
actually.
SCOTUS.
I believe so too. I think that's a good. I think we need we need people in office who give a shit about America and Americans. We need somebody in who has balls. We need somebody in who puts Americans first and
Exactly.
makes this
Does what needs
country
to be done.
right. Make this country. Do you remember on September 12th, 2001? Like, I was 21 years old, so of course I remember. How patriotic America was, how united America was. We can get
Exactly.
back to that again, but they're so afraid of Donald Trump coming back because he was nice last time. He is going in full like Unforgiven, like he's going like complete
He's
like
going he's going mugshot mode.
right. He's going full tilt at these people. Like, oh,
Yeah, and they know it,
you think I
and they know
forgot?
it. That's why they're
Yeah,
trying to make it so that he can't even run. I mean, they're going after everything they can, and I think the fact that he's even survived this long, it's just
yeah.
God is on his side, because he's on the side of truth. Whoever's on the side of truth, even if they're a scumbag, they're gonna excel because people recognize the truth. People understand what we say
We
is
love
not
the truth.
controversial. It's actually common knowledge. It's very like behind closed doors. A lot of people say what we're saying, but when the cameras are turned on, when the TV's turned on, when they're on TV, they have to appease. They're afraid of what people think of them or getting canceled and their reputation and going to court and this and that. So it becomes like, like people don't want to people won't want to protest because let's say the next election, they don't want to go back to the Capitol and get 22 years in jail.
Can you
You know what I
believe
mean?
that? People that weren't even there. They weren't even anywhere near. And
Yeah, the Proud
dude
Boys.
got 22 years in prison for not even being there. Well, I want to see somebody as soon as they get in office say, okay, enough. These political prisoners will be freed because they're treated like absolute like indentured slaves. They're treated like they're
Didn't Vivek say that he was going to pardon Hunter Biden, possibly, if that? Like, that was one of the other things. Like,
yes.
right? So maybe he's lying, but if he was lying, he was playing politics. He's trying to appease. No, I'm not going to. What? Hunter
You're
Biden?
playing both, right? Why would you? What do you mean? Or maybe he was saying that Joe Biden would punt, but I don't know. But I think I heard him say that too. And I'm like, dude, my gut is screaming. And when my gut tells me something is wrong with somebody, it is. But we need truth. People are so afraid of it. They run
Yeah.
away from it. They get repelled. Have you noticed lately? Like every popular song has like the word devil in it, like Unholy,
Yeah.
Sam
Yeah.
Smith, Lil Nas X. She's a devil, she's a bad little bitch, she's a rebel. Like that song is on the shorts. I was like, I get so pissed off because there's so many of them. It's like Doja Cat or something. It's like, please tell me you sold your damn soul to the devil. Just say it. Just say that, hey, in order to get famous, I sold my soul and now I'm pushing devil shit. Like, they are pushing us into like they're I just feel like if we continue on this path where we're at with this administration, I've said this before, we can't last another 2 years under this. Are you kidding me? Like, my God, thankfully 2024 is right around the flipping corner, because I remember last year, I'm like, how are we going to survive this?
We might not even have an election, to be honest. Just something they could declare a state of emergency because we're at war with Russia or China or Ukraine, whatever, the whole Ukraine. They might. I wouldn't put it past them. They'll do anything to not, to stay in power. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's absolutely bananas. But I think the people are waking up because overall, statistically speaking, people are
Mhm.
becoming more religious, not less religious today. And I
Right.
think
It
it's
pushed
because
me.
of the times we're in. Yeah, and,
Yep.
and I think the godlessness embedded into our culture is by design. You know, it's
100%.
different than like, oh, I want to be edgy. Let me put on a Satan outfit just because it's so like, you know, no one would wear a Satan outfit, so I'll stand out. Now everyone's doing it, which means it shows that it was instilled. Now I don't know if you heard of the rapper Hobson.
Yes. Yes.
Hobson came
Yes.
out with a video
He works
on
with NF.
Instagram. Yeah, and he said that he did a concert and people were pissed at him because they saw like some devil shit in the background of his concert. And he said he had no idea what that was. He doesn't get down like that. And the people should have known, whoever was in charge of doing the venue stuff before he got there and set up the background stuff, whatever it is. But he was really pissed off about it, which
Oh
goes to show
yeah, because
maybe
NF is very
a lot of these
right.
artists are just being managed, and they say, listen, you're going to perform this song, you're going to do it this way, and we'll take care of all the decorations. And the artist doesn't have a say in the decorations and in the Super Bowl halftime show. Like they're just there to do their thing. So I think it's the people around them that are making people like Kathy Griffin comfortable
Ugh.
with holding a severed head of the president. Whoever made her feel comfortable to do that. Hey, ready? Take the picture. Take the picture. Whoever's telling her, I got a good shot now. Those people made her feel comfortable to come out with something like that. Disgusting. And I think that's all around them. Their handlers are running the show. It's the managerial class that Vivek likes to talk about. It's not the, you know, they say, who's the deep state? Who are we after? He's talking about the managerial class that are overstepping their boundaries.
Well, you know, a great place to look at is the World Economics Forum, like the New World Order, Klaus
Yep.
Schwab, you know, all of Bill Gates, all of these elitists, you know,
They
Leonardo
tell you what they're going to
DiCaprio.
do.
They
They
do
tell
right
you
out
what
in the
they're going to
open.
do. The Great Reset was their words. It
Yes.
wasn't, we didn't make it. They call you a conspiracy theorist because you're talking about a Great Reset. No, they mentioned the Great Reset.
He has a book
giving you word. Yeah,
called The
playbook.
Great Reset.
Right.
That's-
Agenda 2030. I mean, people, here's the thing. A lot of these pundits, they don't do their due diligence. So you ever heard, what's that guy's name? The QAnon shaman guy. Jason,
Jacob Chansley. Yeah.
Jacob Chansley did an interview with Michael Knowles, Daily Wire. Michael
I
Knowles.
I saw it.
He's teaching Michael Knowles about Q. How do you not know about Q? Like, you're in this movement, conservative movement, Trump, and you're into the politics and this and that. You don't even know who Q is or where he came from, but you have to have this guy tell you. I don't need him to tell me. I knew Q. I saw Q come out even before Q came out. There was another person, Mega Anon, they were called. It was a girl. When Q first came out, I mean, you're reading the 4chan, you're reading this. We were a very small group of people that were catching on to these things, but how do you not do your due diligence in your research? And I'm not saying Michael Knowles should have been on 4chan. I'm saying if you see the media, like the Wall Street Journal or New York Times, whoever it is, bashing a QAnon, or there's a QAnon hit piece, don't you want to know what that is? Or you're going to ask this QAnon shaman guy in an interview. That's where you're getting your information from this guy. No, get it from look, do your due diligence. But a lot of the right dismiss it as conspiracy theories because there's no actual tangible evidence of like a pedophile ring or whatever. Okay, so if there's no
are they gonna get that? But why would they put that out there? Like we have people like Ashton Kutcher. His whole career ended after he exposed Pizzagate. Corey Feldman, Corey Haim, the Backstreet Boys, all of them seemingly unalived themselves. You know what I mean? After coming out with this, because they're like any normal pedo. They don't put that stuff out there.
We're not conspiracy theorists. We're just professional pattern recognionists.
Oh my God. Call it what you may, man. It exists and it's disgusting. And look at
That's what I'm saying. Like, connect the dots. If you think we're all conspiracy theorists, that the election was stolen, look into it. Do your research. You don't know about Q. There's crazy Q conspiracies. Why don't you look what Q is? Read Q's posts. Read what people are talking about. And like, they don't do that. They just dismiss it.
The people that were working the election going, haha, this is one for Trump. Haha, they're brazen enough to record themselves and post it. Hello? Really?
And that's not good enough as evidence. That's not considered evidence, apparently.
Not. Of course. Oh, that was fake news. That was fact checked. I'm over here going, and if you look at, if they want to call us all QAnon conspiracists or whatever the case may be, call me whatever you want to. At least I want to know what the truth is. Look at how the media handled, like Rolling Stone magazine. Like Oliver Anthony, they shit on him. Oh, he's the new right-wing leader, and he's over here like, I'm talking about all Richmond, north of Richmond. And a lot of these liberals are like, haha, look at him. He's talking about Trump. I'm like, Trump is a Richmond, south of Richmond, motherfucker. He's a businessman. He ain't a politic. He didn't need to get into politics to get rich. He was already rich.
Right.
Dummies.
Right.
So,
And then what do they say? He was just power hungry. He was just in it for
oh my God,
power.
he didn't
Just in
need
it for
any
power.
more. Look what they've done to him
Yeah,
since
they
he became
desecrate.
president.
And after that, after he got cheated from an election, like that's how powerful they are. They can cheat him, according to him. He was cheated
Yes,
out. Why are you running again? To
exactly.
get attacked for another 4 years and ridiculed, and
Exactly.
your brand. He's doing it because it's the right thing to do. He doesn't care what happens to him or what happens. He's like, he's like, they're coming after you. I'm just in their way. And that's the truth.
Exactly. People
That's the
don't
truth.
get that. Like, look at it already. It's already starting. The Second Amendment. Oh, they're not going to get rid of the Second Amendment. Oh, we need more gun control. Oh, what? Like Chicago, like New
Right.
York, like
Exactly.
all of these states that have the most gun control have the most gun violence. It
The
doesn't
New York
work.
the New York mayor just came out and said, you know, the illegal immigrants that are flooding New York City is going to destroy the city. What the fuck you think we've been saying this whole time? You know
It's
what I'm saying? Like,
xenophobic, though. It's
no,
xenophobic or
we're
it's
just
racist.
I'm just right. I'm just conspiracy theorists. It's we don't have an immigration problem. We just have a racism problem. That's all
Oh
it
my
is. That's all it
God.
is. So then he says it's in our backyard. Really? It was in Texas's backyard for how long? You didn't give a shit. You just called them a bunch of racists. Now that it's in New York, now now it's destroying the city. So it's
We
just
need
they're
to
eating their
deport them
words.
all. I feel bad, but we need to get them all out of here. Every one of them. They get $2,200 per month, while people that have worked their entire lives, retired, they're getting Social Security. They're getting maybe 12 to 1,400 a month, and they've worked here and paid taxes their entire lives, and they're getting less than these people that have crossed our border. Are you kidding me? They've done nothing.
If we have 0 homeless people in America, yeah, let's take care of some immigrants if they come in. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm with that.
Take care of us first.
Yeah, and Chicago people too. They're like, listen, man, this is a sanctuary city, Miss Lori Lightfoot. And then Brandon Davis came in there, and now people are pissed. They're like, we get them out. We don't want them here. And it's like they're sleeping in police departments, getting knocked up. A teenager was knocked up. They're sleeping in colleges. They're everywhere. They're sleeping on the fucking floor. They're sleeping on the floors. What does that tell you? They were putting them up in 5-star hotels in Manhattan. Like, I can't even afford that. $200, $300, $400 per night. Who's paying for this?
They're taking classic hotels. I mean, iconic hotels,
ruining them
and turning it into homeless shelters. I mean, for
and
not even people that are citizens of this country.
Exactly.
That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me.
And it's crazy that they get free iPhones as soon as they walk in. They get $2,200 per month because why? We need them votes. We need them votes. I can't believe this. People should be outraged right now. It's insane, Bo. I don't get
why are they against voter ID? What's wrong with voter ID? Don't you want to know who's voting, or you want just anyone that comes into this country? Let's say my cousin's visiting from Israel. You want him to vote too? I mean, don't you want secure elections? So why would you be fighting voter ID? Oh, because it's racist. Because black people don't know how to get an ID. They don't know where the DMV is. Like,
let me tell you what,
racist is that?
I've lived in Cleveland, Ohio, nearly all of my life. Any one of my friends, I've asked them all, black, white, Hispanic, Puerto Rican, you name it. I've asked them, hey man, how would you feel if somebody said that you were incapable of getting an ID? Do you have an ID, Jen? What kind of question is that? Of course I have an ID. Stupid. Why wouldn't I have an ID? Well, because the left says you can't, because it's you're oppressed. You're systematically victim of racism. You're in a victimhood mentality. There, fuck that. That's wrong. It's racist to think that these people cannot get an ID.
Exactly.
How
and
disgusting.
I saw this video on TikTok back. It was a little old. It was when TikTok first came out. It was the audio recording of what we're talking about, where they're saying that black people can't have access to whatever. And while you hear the audio, you see this black dude like acting like a monkey and like touching his laptop and getting scared when it opens, like he's a Neanderthal. So like he was making fun of them, saying that black people don't understand how to get an ID. They don't understand how to use a computer. They don't understand how to take the bus that's so disrespectful and so racist. But here's the thing, they call us racist, but they're the real racists.
They always have been.
Yeah.
Did you see the Nazi that he goes to he was in 2020, he was in a commercial for a DNC candidate, presidential candidate. He was an Asian guy with this white nationalist that looks like a complete Fed, by the way. He comes on and he's got this big he's at Disney this time because he goes to all of these, like him and his 9 buddies, like because white supremacy is the leading problem in America. That's why there's only like 12 of them total. He's at Disney, right? He goes to these like drag shows for kids and whatnot, and they scream obscenity to and I quote, to give them PTSD and leave. And so they just went to Disney and they said, "Hey, are you going to vote for Biden or Trump?" And he goes, "My vote doesn't matter, but I think Biden is better than Trump because he sends missiles over to Ukraine." And I'm over here going, I've told y'all that the Democratic Party has not changed. They are the same. They still support the Klan. The Klan still supports them. They do not like Republicans because Republicans fought to end slavery. That is their major hangup, their only hangup with Republicans. And Republicans were the first to give black office in Alabama or Mississippi. I think it was Mississippi. First state to ever have a black congressman or city councilman. They were Republican. It wasn't Democrat. Democrat didn't do it till like the 1990s. And people are like, no, dude, literally. So this, he's on there. Oh, Biden is the best. And I'm like, and you guys called Trump. Trump didn't do the eulogy for a Klansman, bitch. My God, man, people are so dumb.
The fact that they think that we're the minority just drives me nuts because we like this silent majority is real. Like we really are the silent majority. I think you need progressives just like you need conservatives to kind of toe the line when we're going too fast into the future. You need both. You need a balance of both. Liberals are the reason why people like me were in this country, but today it's gotten so far left that it took away all meaning from what liberalism even means.
Right.
And
sure does.
It forced the liberals to kind of be moved more to the right, kind of like Elon Musk. He said, "I didn't change my position. You just went so far left, and now I look like I'm right."
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Because I used to be liberal through and through, but the liberal of then versus the neoliberal of today.
Exactly. Like
you guys are
the difference. Yeah.
You
can see a big difference.
Huge. Yeah. Absolutely. The liberals of like that's what the flip is. The flip didn't happen between Democrat and Republican Party. It came to the liberals that, we have been pushed to the right, to the more conservative side, because you guys have gone so deep, so far left field, you can't even define what a woman is. What the hell is wrong with you? They want to get rid of mother, the word mother, like your wife. She's an egg producer. I'm not a chest feeder. I'm not a breeder. I'm not a egg producer. I'm a mother. They said Mother's Day was offensive. You forget everyone on this earth has one? What the hell is going on here? You did a video.
It's a deflection of reality. Okay. And I don't like when they mess with my reality. If they tell me men can get pregnant.
Oh my God.
My response would be, you're being disrespectful right now. Now you're fucking with my reality, because no, men do not get pregnant. Maybe a woman that says she's a man can get pregnant, but
that's what it is.
Can't get pregnant. Like it's a complete fallacy, and you're being disrespectful to my reality.
Well,
like,
she identifies.
The sky is red.
Right. She identifies as a man, so she's a man. No, she isn't. She's a female still with biological female reproductive organs that enabled her to get pregnant.
That's why I like how Matt Walsh says they're wearing woman face.
Yeah, they are. They are. And look, I don't care.
Reducing a woman down to makeup and a dress.
Yeah, you can still put lipstick on a pig, but it is, dude. It's misogyny. It's true misogyny.
I put lipstick, put a wig, put a dress, and say I'm a woman. I can go into any woman's bathroom. I can play in women's sports. What? That's what a woman is? I didn't know a woman is just
we're not a feeling
in a dress. Yeah,
we're not a feeling. We are beings.
It's crazy, and to infringe on a woman's right for privacy is what I'm against. Now, don't get me wrong. Any trans
Thank
person,
you.
gay person, lesbian, bisexual, whatever you want to call it, they all deserve dignity and respect,
Facts.
but not when it's infringing on the rights of others. So I think the trans community should get together and build a trans league and compete with men and women, but
Yes.
not as women or as men, because it's not the same. Especially if you're a man and you don't identify as a man, okay, you can't play with the men because you don't even identify as a man. So
Well,
you need
what
to
about
build
if
your
I
own
dine in
league.
a two-spirit or non-binary? Well, then pick your poison, bro. Pick your
But
poison.
you're right. Yeah, but if you're non-binary, you don't conform to the traditional men and women, fine. You have to create your own league then. I know it's a lot more work involved, but that's where you get your dignity and respect, to have your own shit. Like
Well,
I'm a Jew. I have to eat kosher or else I can't eat, right? But that's my decision. I'm not
mhm.
going to force every restaurant in America to now follow kosher law and to have them supervise, and then it's going to be
Better
more
have
expensive.
that rabbi ready.
Yeah,
Rabbi better be blessing my food, right?
right. What do Jews do? We'll open up our own restaurant, our own supermarket, our own ambulance, our
I need
own
to
like,
find a
because
Jew. I
we need
do.
certain
I love Jewish men. They are just, I knew a couple in my day. Let me tell you something. They saved money. They banked well. They had all kinds of investments. They were smart with their money. They were very strong in their faith. They loved family values. When you step over somebody else to get ahead and to get something for you, or your rights seemingly matter more than everybody else's, that's where I have the problem. I agree with you that
Mhm.
everybody deserves to be treated with dignity, kindness, and respect. However, if you are blatantly disrespecting women by saying that a trans woman is better than a woman because you paid $70,000 for your man-made vagina, your Barbie pocket, that does not make you better than anybody. The better than needs to go away, because when we tell people that, hi, I am more superior to you, it's making other people that have felt comfortable in their own skin, giving them inferiority complexes for no fault but somebody else's. It's like, dude, shut up. Just shut up. You
Yeah,
want to
like I
exist, fine, but quit trampling on everybody else and get a farther in life.
when I worked as a paramedic instructor, I had an office full of different, men, women, whatever. I was like one of the only few Jews in there. It was like 99% non-Jew. They were doing a office barbecue or whatever, and we all had to pitch in $20 for the pool. They came to
Mhm.
me and they said, "You have $20," and I said, yeah, yeah, sure." I gave it to them, knowing in my head I'm not going to eat anything. I'm giving him 20 just to be part of the party, but I'm going to bring my own food, and I'm not going to force them to go shopping for me when 99% of the people don't eat kosher meat. I do. So because I'm not going to force them to do it because I need to feel included. No, I'll bring my own. But the left, what they do is they say I'm not included because they're a very, very small minority, a marginalized group, whatever, that the
Mhm.
whole entire country has to accommodate and change everything around for them. That's like me saying, as a Jew, I should feel included in this country. Fuck that. I'm an American citizen and I can't eat. So make every make every restaurant kosher, or I'm not going to feel included. And guess what? If I did that and I got all my Jewish friends to round up all the activists, become activists on this front, people are going to start to hate Jews. When
Yeah.
otherwise they wouldn't have. They would have been like, yo, these guys are just on top of me. Like they're making me get more expensive meat. I have to hire a rabbi to make sure supervise everything, make sure it's certain clean, make sure that a humane practice of killing the animals. I got to get kosher butchers, and fuck that. You know what I'm saying? It's like we
Yeah,
have to
man,
be
kosher
based in
beef is
reality.
expensive.
Yeah, you got to be based in reality. But guess what? Like that's our thing, and I'm not going to force everyone else to do our. That's our thing. Well, don't
It
worry,
just
we'll build
doesn't
our
make
own restaurant.
sense to
You
do
know?
that. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. But they cry and they throw fits and they get violent. Well, we need violence for change, but you're doing it the wrong way. Your
100%.
message is coming across as your guys are like toddlers throwing a temper tantrum if you don't get what you want. And people are too afraid, like with this whole election. I have no faith in a safe election. I have none. This last election did such a number on me where I'm over here like, I'm going to go in person on election day. That's it. And never once have I ever went to bed not knowing who a president was. I'm never going
Exactly.
to bed again, because before I went to bed, Trump was winning. I was like, all right, cool. My president's going to win. Let's go. Good
700 over
night.
700,000 votes in Pennsylvania alone, and then not only did he catch up, but he beat him
Yeah, more
exactly in
votes than
every
the first.
battleground state. Exactly.
Yeah, more votes than the first African American president ever.
Yep.
Are you
Yep.
kidding
More.
me?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, there's no
Yeah.
way. There's no way. And so I think it scared Americans, because look at the people that are still sitting in prison without being charged, mind you. They're still there.
Pausing an election, putting this deadbeat over the over Trump, 20 million more votes, not knowing who the president is. All these things come down, and no one bats, and I mean not no one, but to the left, like nothing seems a little bit off to you. The
Right.
fact
And
that he was winning by hundreds of thousands of votes in every
Katie
battleground state.
Hobbs too. Look at Katie Hobbs. Fucking shit. Katie Hobbs certified her own election for she said, I am not recusing myself as Secretary of State. She certified her own election. She didn't even debate Carrie Lake. It's like, oh my god, she
It's
was so
yeah,
afraid. John
and build
Fetterman.
build a fence around the inauguration, like it's just it's what is. And here's the thing: how do you see that and say that's normal? Yeah, that happens. It's
Look at
what do
John
you mean?
Fetterman.
I knew this was going to happen the second coronavirus came out, and they started talking about that people were too scared to go to the voting booths. Right then and there, I knew they were
Mhm.
going to cheat, and
They're
Trump knew
doing it
it too.
again. They're doing it
Trump knew
again.
it too. Trump said the
Yeah.
same thing. He's like, they can go to and then what did they say? Oh, he's trying to kill people. He's trying to kill people, telling them to go vote just because he wants to go. They don't, like, go vote. And if you are too scared to vote, don't go. But everyone
Right.
is able to go to Walmart, but not to the fucking voting booth. Stop.
Exactly. Yeah, right.
Stop.
Yeah. No. Well, look at John Fetterman. If that look, imagine if Donald Trump was John Fetterman. John Fetterman, while he was mayor, held up a black guy. He took a sawed-off illegal shotgun and put it to the chest of an unarmed black man while he was jogging, and they still elected him. Wait a minute. Hold up. The same side, the same political side that cancels people like Roseanne Barr for taking one too many Ambien and comparing somebody, just words get somebody canceled. But this man can hold some poor black guy. He's just jogging, trying to stay fit. He gets a gun pointed at his heart by this potato, and you guys, he wins, and he starts the debate off with, hello everybody, good night, and he wins against a neurosurgeon, a fucking doctor. It's like
He
putting
does
Mr.
political speeches wearing a hoodie and shorts. I mean, this is
He
it's in
looks
our
like he's
face. It's blatant in our face. They're laughing at us. That's why when they asked Joe Biden about his son and about the indictments or about Trump says this, like the first thing he does is smile and laugh. Like, what are you laughing
that's his
about, bro?
tell. That's when you know he's lying.
Even if this is all lies and it's all bullshit, why are you laughing? People really believe the election was stolen. You're laughing?
Yeah,
How are you laughing? People really believe
exactly.
that. They
Yeah.
had that guy who stole the luggage too.
Yeah, God, what is his name? That bald first non-binary, he was in charge of like some nuclear stuff.
Yeah. In the
And
airport, he stole a luggage or something. I heard about that. And he was a trans guy too. He looked right. It changes his whole image up.
yeah, and he stole some Kenyan ladies. She was a designer, and she had posted these pictures on Instagram, and he is caught getting off the plane with no luggage, going straight to the baggage claim. He steals her luggage amongst other women's. He's literally stealing women's luggage and wearing it like, this is mine. Haha, look what I can do. No, I'm Biden, because he is Mr. Diversity Picks, like Kamala Harris. She called him a racist because he was against busing those kids from the inner cities to the suburbs for a better education. I always said this. Look, I don't give a shit where these kids are born at. Every child is entitled in America to a good education. And so anybody who could say I'm against busing these kids because I don't want my son, my blonde-haired, blue-eyed son, to go to school in a racial jungle. It'll be a racial jungle if we integrate these kids into the suburbs. that is a special type of evil person. If you could literally look down on some children, and a lot of people want to play, oh, systematic racism. Why don't you thank the Democrats who've been promising the sun, the moon, and the stars for the last 50 fucking years and have done nothing for the black community, because they
Vivek
don't
had an
care.
interview with Al Sharpton. You just see that one?
Oh my God. Yeah. Al Sharpton, remember that he was a supporter of Donald Trump and Reverend Jesse Jackson too, because Jesse Jackson, Donald Trump had endorsed him as president and kicked in for his campaign and was buddy with Al Sharpton. But the very second that Donald Trump said, I'm going to run as a Republican, that's when he got all the knives stuck in his back, including Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. What Al Sharpton has, he's a bobblehead. He just looks like this big giant head on his little tiny body. I remember how big he was before he had his gastric bypass. I remember him getting his ass kicked by Ray Inez on the Morton Downey Jr. show. He rolled off that chair like a roly poly. That man is the biggest like racist ever. Sorry, not sorry. He just is.
Yeah. So you have you had Vivek sitting with Al Sharpton, and one of this was when he was like 18 years old, right? Something like that. Vivek was 18,
Yeah.
and you had Pete Buttigieg also in the audience, which is kind of weird
Oh
asking a
my
question to
God. Booty judge.
well, when he was talking to Al Sharpton said that well, Vivek said, why should I vote for you if you have the least experience? And he goes, well, I have the most experience. I've been doing this for 30 years. So he's been doing it for 30 years, 20 years ago. So that's 50 years now. What has happened since the last 20 years? We had a black president for 2 terms, and we have Joe Biden as president for a couple years. So if you've been in office, and he said he was dealing with policies. You've been working on policies for 50 years, and the country is still racist, and you know, we're still talking about reparations and shit. Like this country is so broken and destroyed. But what were you doing for 50 years? What was Joe Biden doing for all this time? What was Obama doing for those 8 years to heal the divide? Or no, he was stoking it. He had people riled up that could have been my son, you know, with the Trayvon thing, and he knows what he's doing, and he was there. People thought he was there to calm the black community down because they were about to have a revolution. But I think he just riled them up even more, but soothing them at the same time so they don't go ballistic. And I think the fact that he didn't do anything in his full 8 years says a lot. And it says a lot because America, the same America that voted for him twice, the same America voted for Trump.
Yeah, and they're still black too, by the way, because remember Biden famously went on the Breakfast Club and said, if you don't know whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. Yeah, right. Everybody that I know who's black is still black. Every Mexican that voted for Trump is still Mexican. I'm Italian. I'm still Italian. Still Italian. That heritage didn't go away. The melanin didn't evaporate into the atmosphere. You know what I mean? Maybe that's why
it's just about ideology, because they don't care about black people if they're conservative. They only care about black people if they're liberal, if they're on the same agenda as what they're saying.
They care about votes. That's it. You are a vote to them. It's insane, man. And this is what pushed me again more conservative, is because it's more loving, it's more tolerant, and we literally are over here welcoming everybody. Like, come on in. This is a fucking party.
People say like the right is racist. Now here's the thing. I don't have like millions of followers or whatever, but let's say the little amount of followers I do have, to the point where I am getting hundreds, if not thousands, of messages. I never seen one message from any one of my followers, not one, message me and go, yo, man, I love what you're doing, man. White power, bro. White
power, gross. Same, dude. Same. And if I was, chick rocks, bro, with some open-toed shoes on. I think on a couple of my comments in on my YouTube channel, like there's some that I can let go, but then there's others where I'm like, ew, I don't roll like that here. And I'll make it a point to answer people. And I wish I could answer everybody, but that's damn near impossible. But if I see a comment like that, I'm putting you on blast. Like, we don't talk that shit here.
I don't see any of that. They say the most nice, you know what they say? They say your mother raised you right. I love your thoughts. You know, you're there, you're fighting for the truth. I had military veterans stationed in Iraq telling me that they're showing my video to all their you know, friends in that base, and they're sending me messages saying, "We salute you. We love what you're." And I'm like, well, "Me?
That's
Like,
amazing. Didn't that
I
feel
should be saluting
good?
you." It felt amazing. But then you have people that say, "Oh, the Nazis and the right and they're racist." But I haven't had one person reach out to me and say white power or white pride or fucking Nazi this, Nazi. Never,
Eh,
not
I
one.
don't get being proud of your skin color at all. Like, I
Right,
can't look at somebody seriously if they're like, black power, or I'm brown pride. It's like, so you're proud of something you had no control over, no say so in. You didn't
right,
contribute nothing to that. That wasn't a
right.
goal that you written down. That wasn't
Now, if I
any
wanted to
achievement.
become black, and I went tanning every fucking day out there till I
Oh,
became
please God,
black,
don't,
I have a
man.
right to be happy. I have a right to be proud to be black then, because I worked for that.
My
What are you, born black,
God.
born white? What are you proud about? You should be proud about what you've accomplished, proud about, certain things that you've thought about or ideas, but not your skin color or your hair color or it's like being proud of the color of my shoes. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I have red shoes.
Yeah.
You have fucking white shoes. What's wrong with you? What are you, an idiot? Oh, okay, I'll just go get white shoes. Like, what are you proud about? I think pride is what's killing this
Oh
country. It's
yeah,
not.
I think the
It's
seven
not
deadly sins are. I
right.
know
That's
you're a
one of
Jew
the.
and all, but look at the
That's one of
Torah
the
is not
seven.
much different than the Bible. It's still the same moral principles. But I feel like this. I feel like people need to put God first, then their family, and then somebody that they actually believe in can save this country. And I have lost all hope in the Democrats because they have done, like you said, nothing. So a well-known Democrat that is not my friend at all. I'm hiding from Biden. I got my little one a matching
I
shirt,
love it.
and when they are doing pink day in school, I'm going to put his hiding from Biden shirt on because my boy don't wear pink. I don't buy my kid pink clothes. He's a boy. I don't
Right.
what
All right.
I said you could wear your Patrick socks. He's pink, Patrick Star. But you did a video and it's called "You Want to Know What Rhymes with Joe Biden?" I want to play that now. Can we do
That
that
was
real quick?
my most recent. Yeah.
Let's do that.
Blows
You're pretty talented, to say the least. I like how you got that gift. So let's look at
Thank you.
this.
You
I
guys want to
appreciate
know
that.
what rhymes with Joe Biden? Compulsive lying, slow-minded old guy with no spine and showing signs of Alzheimer's on the podium trying to vocalize his ideas, but most times gets tongue-tied and speaks with closed eyelids, which is why it's not the teleprompter's fault, it's Joe Biden's. I mean, the guy's just lost with no guidance. He's got no spark, no vibrance. Come on, man. You know Joe Biden, the one who campaigned from the basement of his home hiding the whole time when Trump was packing stadiums like a New York Giant, but over 80 million votes for Biden, blows no sirens. Totally normal. Case closed. Goodbye then. Okay, fine then. Why is it if I question the election, I get told to be quiet? Banned online for speaking my own mind when in fact the Democrats openly denied it and blamed it on Trump and Russia's quote close alliance. Oh, but that's totally fine then. You see, it's so one-sided, and the media repeating the lies is how they normalize it and show their bias by saying January 6th was so violent, but the Kenosha riots were mostly peaceful. See, nope, sorry, we the people don't buy it.
Nope.
America's so divided, we're nosediving straight to our own demise, like flying in a plane with no pilots. Because Joe Biden is a globalist tyrant who sold the United States off to China through his son Hunter to go broker bribes with foreign oligarchs in private, so the big guy who co-signed it gets kickbacks via crypto so no one finds it. But the New York Post decided to probe inside it with the laptop story to expose the Bidens, but the story was silenced. So another crime exposed was the FBI's role behind it. You see, whenever Joe Biden's name's involved, you'll find it's always so intertwined with such deep corruption. No wonder these Trump supporters are multiplying and chanting, "Let's go Brandon," and "Fuck Joe Biden."
Oh my God, it's just such an unbelievable moment.
Brandon, you
Oh, wait,
also told me,
it's
as you
over.
can hear the chants from the
Let's
crowd.
go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon.
Joe Biden. That was epic. Oh my gosh. That's where the whole "Let's go, Brandon" came. Let's go, Brandon. No, honey, they wasn't saying that.
Yeah, they weren't saying that.
"Oh,
And I
Biden."
wanted to challenge myself and make the whole thing rhyme with Joe Biden.
You did
that
a
was
fantastic job, Bo.
thank you. I appreciate that.
My God, man. And what really piqued my interest was your Eminem diss. You had, it's we, the Beastie Boys, Vanilla Ice, Weird Al Yankovic, a couple of white musicians ever got so big, and no white rapper has ever done what Eminem has done. Now, phenomenal. Came from a trailer park, abusive mother, and this
Rough
his
beginnings, very rough. Yeah.
exactly. 8 Mile is not some just, it's not where he lives today, which, like, I don't get that. A lot of rappers, especially when they become famous, they're still rapping like they're in the streets, but you're not. You're on a compound with a wall, but you're against the wall because you hate President Trump so damn much. But when he came out and said, F you Trump supporters, that hurt because I supported Eminem from, my God, the beginning, and when Dre just put him on the scene, and when everybody started figuring out who he was, and that just broke my heart. Like, how can you, of all people, Mr. Anti-Establishment himself, endorse Biden, endorse Obama, and you say F Trump supporters? Well, I
Yeah.
remember when you said the F word, and I don't mean fuck, and then you did a collab with Elton John to appease the masses. You sold your soul, bro. You sold out, because
Mhm.
the Eminem that I knew, that I respected, was like, I said it. Oh well, I'm not apologizing for shit. And then
Did
all
you
of a
see his
sudden,
last interview? Did you see his last interview about Trump?
no,
He said something about Trump where he's like, "How could you relate to this guy? He's a multi-billionaire. How could you relate to him when he doesn't give a fuck about you and this and that and the other?" And I was like, relate to Trump about being so what? I could relate to Joe Biden. I could relate to Hillary. I could. What are you talking about? Relate? And then he
Obama,
says,
he owns a home on
right, right.
Mount, a castle. Get the fuck out of here.
So he says, yeah, he talks a good game talking about Trump. He talks a good game, but nothing ever happens. This was Eminem's argument. All right. Trump talks a good game, but nothing ever happens. What do you mean talks a good game? I wish the interviewer made him clarify that point. What do you mean he talks a good game? What does he say that you think sounds good? Because I'll show you where he's right. And he says nothing ever happens. You know what he sounds like? A black pilled Anon. That's what he sounds like. A
Yeah.
person that's just, I like Trump, I like what he's saying, but nothing's happening, so it must be bullshit. Like,
Right.
it's like no one's getting arrested. I thought Hillary was going to get arrested, so Trump's full of shit.
Yeah.
So I think he's black pilled. And here's the thing: after I came out with my video, I'm not going to make it about me, but I can't help but notice that it sounds like a response where he did come out with a response about that. And he says, if I could go back, I would at least reword it and say, I empathize with the people this evil serpent sold the dream to that he's deserted. So it wasn't an apology, but it was addressing that. I wish I said it differently because it took away, according to him, the whole reason of him saying that was to bring awareness and blah, blah, blah. But it backfired so greatly that he says, if I could go back, I would at least reword it. And then he said something like, yeah, you got some views, but you're still below me. My views are, your views get overlooked. I'm like,
He forgot that he was there at one point himself. He forgets that he was ridiculed and called the wigger and everything else.
Right. That's
You
what I said.
addressed a lot of this
right.
in this rap, and I want people to see it because I've seen my fair share of AI disses. There was one that people still think that I don't know it's AI, and I'm over here going, I got a lot of fucking views on that because I spoke up and I spoke the truth about Tom McDonald. And he has stuck his nose out for me, and he's helped me. He's reached out personally, and he's done me a major solid. In any Tom McDonald reaction I do, I'm allowed to react to it copyright free. He is a good man. He's done for me, and I will equally show him the love and loyalty. So I know,
he's dope.
Right? He is. And so what I said, I stand by about Tom McDonald. I stand by wholeheartedly. I've never had an artist except Nightwish where I've spent so much money on merchandise supporting him and doing reactions. I have the most Tom McDonald reactions because why? I believe in him. I know he's a good man. He's shown me. So I believe I will stand firm with everything I said. I will never apologize. I don't care if people want to think that I don't know it's AI or not. It's on TikTok. I didn't see Eminem say it. So, of course, anyhows, I want to play this just because I've seen a lot, and I think that you said it so eloquently and it's so powerful. So I want to show everybody that because I think it's the best one I think I've ever seen. And a lot of Look, this makes Machine Gun Kelly's diss track look like a 3-day-old had written it, right? Like literally,
I mean,
Cleveland. I can't stand by Machine Gun Kelly. Look what he is.
and I
now.
wrote it so quick, and I put it out so quick because because he just said it, and I'm like, I need to put it out right away. And I remember I met Jordan Lucas at his concert, and I went up to him for a meet and greet, and the first thing I said to him was, "Yo, don't ever do what Eminem did." And he goes, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, promise me
Sell
you'll never
out.
do what he did. You won't start talking about dissing fuck Trump supporters and that. And then he was like, oh no, I'm not gonna, don't worry about it. I'm not gonna get into that.
Joyner Lucas is pretty cool, man. I like him.
Yeah, he's amazing. He's amazing.
Well, that's awesome that you got that that reply, and when within your soul it was meant for you.
He ended up doing a song. He ended up doing a song with Eminem after that, and since then he hasn't really been responding to me like that. Like, we used to talk back and forth a little bit on IG, but I think he's just being loyal to his friend or whatever. Listen, at the end of the day, he's out for himself to become famous and do what he needs to do, and I think he's an amazing artist.
But stay true to who you are, no matter what.
Exactly. And when he does get into politics, I don't agree with what he has to say, but I'm not listening to Eminem or Jordan Lucas because I want political advice. I'm listening to them because they sound good and they're very talented. I listen for the talent of it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So yeah, when I did that diss on Eminem, it was just a way to say fuck you too, because you said fuck you to your fans. Other than that, I didn't care. Like, I didn't sit there and be like, I'm never listening to Eminem ever again, but I could never listen to him the same way.
Yes.
Especially after that album that came out right after the revival or whatever. It was just such a bad taste in my mouth. A lot of people didn't like it. That's why he felt the need to respond to the criticism and losing a third of his fan base and dividing his fan base and stuff. But then he comes out about this whole Trump thing again, and I'm just like, I never heard him diss Obama. I never heard him diss Biden. Like, he's just constantly he has dissed Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton and all that stuff in the past. But it got to the point where you never said if you support Hillary or you support Joe Biden, fuck you. No, he doesn't talking to supporters. He's talking about them. But he said fuck you and drew a line to people, like just people.
Let's hear it, because I think we could say a lot on this, but let's talk about it after, because no one's heard this. I think, this is 5 years ago, so I want to play this real quick and then we'll talk about it afterwards. But I think I'm with you on that. As soon as he came out and said F you, it just left a bad taste in my mouth as well. So let's play this one here, because I want everybody to see that. Here, let's do the screen here. This is a good one, y'all. Prepare yourselves.
All right, first off, I just want to say this wasn't easy to write because this dude was really my idol. Been a fan since day one when I was just 15 in high school. Every album, song, verse he released, I memorized each line. Even printed out his lyrics filled with metaphors and similes combined to read them and decipher the meanings behind them, and amazed at how he made each syllable easily rhyme like a puzzle, a fucking genius in his prime. Every time he got behind the mic, couldn't believe my eyes witnessing the greatest MC alive, hip-hop's rap god. But now I got this queasy feeling inside, feeling conflicted when he drew a line in the sand, telling his fans who support Trump to think of which side of the line we need to decide to come to. So wait, we need to decide between Trump and you? And if we can't decide, you're deciding for us by sticking your middle finger up to us and telling us, fuck you? Really, bro? You know what, Em? Fuck you too. You shit on your own fans because of their political views? You diss Donald Trump. Wow, how original are you? I've heard enough, dummy. Now it's time to hush, puppy. I'm here to bring the facts. And since you isolated yourself from your fans, you and Colin Kaepernick are now free to be fuck buddies. You fucking tool. Did Trump ruin your little ball game, honey? Aw, boo fucking who? Get a fucking clue. If you recall the kneeling during the anthem, the crowd fucking booed.
Yeah, they did. Big time.
You underestimated your fans thinking we as dumb as you. You want us to choose? Okay, come on, guys. Let's go follow Eminem, the leader who just killed himself. Wonderful.
Dan's revenge.
Check it out. Yo, Ab. You are rich AF, ain't you? How do you think you got that way, dude? You're screaming fuck Trump at a concert to your fans who paid you. I'd hate to be the one who straight schools you, but it seems like your memory's shot since you forgot that. We're the ones who made you. I remember you bitching about how the media portrayed you, how they hated you in the beginning, won't let the radio play you. They called you a homophobe, male chauvinist, even painted you as a horrible father figure to your beautiful angel. And instead of focusing on your skills, they made it a racial issue. They called you a wigger who just tries to be black because you talk with an accent. I bet that wigger label pissed you off too, didn't it? I'll make it simple.
Yeah, it did.
The same shit you saying about today's issues are the same lies being spewed by the same losers in the fake news media who dissed you. That's amazing. We didn't fuck with the media back then when it came to you.
Nope.
Then they're doing it to Trump. And you still believe what they say to you. Can't really blame you. You're the same dude who got his tongue stuck so far up Obama's ass. That's why the shit you spitting lately is just so distasteful. You calling his skin orange and say he a racist too. You contradicted yourself in the same fucking statement. That makes you the racist, you fucking oxymoron. Didn't he endorse you in 2004? You mean to tell me you hated him then too? Look, either you're back on them drugs, took a shot right in your veins, or you are just mad Donald Trump took the spotlight away from you.
Ouch!
It ain't my job to educate you, but what you did was a disgraceful move. And don't mistake this for a rap battle. That ain't what I came to do. But if this were a battle to the death on debating the truth, ain't no way I'd lose. You get bodied like your new movie in no time. So don't try. Because you could take the word bodied and separate it to two words, and that'll be the only way you could say Bo died.
Damn.
Since you acting like a bum, I'm going to give you my 2 cents. So I'll leave you with this. If you don't apologize to your fans who were loyal to you since the very beginning, then I'm going to say fuck Eminem and just go listen to Join the Lucas.
Oh, man. Warning shots, warning shots. Ah. Look at you eating your M&Ms. Yeah, y'all, this is on YouTube, absolutely, and Bo's channel is Bo Knows the Truth, BOKNOWS, the Truth, and I will, I linked it here. It's scrolling on the bottom of your screen right now. This is his channel here. He's on Facebook. You're on Twitter. You're on Instagram. Is it all the same? Let's
all the
see.
same. Bo knows the truth everywhere. I just wanted to make it simple.
When you go back on your YouTube, make sure you edit this about page so you can put all of your links here, and they'll all show up on your channel. Like if you look at mine here, you can look at my channel. Oh, look at that. That's you and me live. So like here's a movie channel that I never started, which I need to. Loud and Proud Deplorables. Oh wow, we got 1,000 subscribers. I haven't yet to do a video on there. I promise I will. Oh, here's them Nazis. Look, watch this.
My vote is useless. I think Biden's better than Trump because he sends rockets to Ukraine.
Reason 1,999,678 why I'm voting for Donald Trump.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
it's crazy because like I did one on my TikTok. I did a different one. Like if you look at my about page here, you can put all of your links there, and it'll send everybody to your links. Like if you can click, like I have a link tree too that I link all of my stuff in there. It's just something you can put on here. I know that everything is just getting back to somewhat normalcy since you had a big loss in your life. You had battled your little baby had battled cancer, and won, thankfully, and you've been through hell and back, and now you're back, and I wish you all the best. I hope that you keep going. Bo, you just resonate with people. We had a really smooth conversation. Like I didn't think it would flow like organically and like it did before I clicked, but before we went live, we were kicking it, man. Just a simple flow. Like we've known each other for years, because when you are a truth teller, you're not running from the truth, you're running towards it, and you're embracing the truth, and that does resonate with people in a world that is so full of double standards, hypocrisy, lunacy, derangement syndrome, left and right, division.
Godlessness.
God,
Godlessness.
yes, family. The nuclear family is looked at like it is the next plague, you know. And it's nice to see that somebody, you know, is a man strong in his faith, loves his family, you know, and you embrace the truth, you know. And that does that. I hope that everything goes smooth from here on out. And if you need anything, and if you'd ever like to do this again, I'm 100% open for it.
Absolutely, I would love to. It would be my honor. You know, I love meeting new people that have common sense. I mean, why is that scarce today? Common sense. That's it. I mean, you could say, well, some of it's conspiracies, but if that's true, then don't you want to find out if I'm right or wrong? Like, don't you want to do research and look into what we're talking about and prove me wrong? I'd love to be wrong. Believe me, I don't want to believe that the reality is that there's pedophile rings out there and children are being tortured and raped. I don't want that to be true. I want that to be a conspiracy. I want that to be a conspiracy. I don't want to believe that we're run by the world's run by Satanists or whatever. I don't want to believe any of that. But every day, current events are leading up to that, and Trump has been saying it consistently for many years, and no one's listening to him because of who he is. So he could say the truth all day. He could say, hey, a bus is coming about to hit you, but because it's Trump, you're not going to listen.
Right.
So people just need to get beyond the visual and listen to what he's saying. People say, oh, well, Tucker Carlson didn't give Trump hard questions.
Because yes, he did. He did though. He did though. The questions that he did ask, because I watched that interview, he did ask the tough questions.
I mean, he let Trump. He did, but he let Trump speak for the most part. And I said, Trump just needs to be heard right now. He doesn't need to be interrupted, attacked, being called names or whatever, attacked from Republicans that are on the same side. America First Republicans are still. I mean, he has to debate them. No, we want to hear what he has to say because he was on the inside. He's the one being indicted. He's the one that is facing jail time. We want to hear him. I don't want to hear the moderator interrupt him.
Every time.
I want to hear what he has. Right. Let's hear what he has to say. And then everything he says, write it down and research what he's saying. So when he says insurance policy of the two lovers, how do you know what that is? Right. Look it up. What does Trump mean about two lovers? What does Trump mean about insurance policy? What is that about? And look and go down the rabbit hole. What is QAnon? What is Q and what does Anon even mean? When you go down this rabbit hole and research and really do your due diligence, you might not come to a conclusion that everything is 100% real, but you're going to come down to the conclusion that the main narrative is questionable to the point where like you can't just run with it, because we were told a million different things about Corona and a million things changed, from masks, no masks, vaccines, no vaccines.
2 masks. Right.
2 masks. Yeah. We're in an informational war.
I think they're afraid that they're going to learn something and learn that what they have been told is a lie, and that's
learn
what
that they've been wrong and that they've been held with such conviction for so long. Think about it, like your reputation's on the line. If I'm wrong about all of this, every single video I've ever put on Facebook, you'd be like, this guy's a clown. Look what he said here. Bullshit. You go down the list. No one wants to go have that. So it's almost like a defense mechanism that your brain goes through. It's cognitive dissonance. I'm not going to accept what you're telling me because then I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, that means I might be racist. No way. I don't want to. No. So they're hoping Trump loses and hoping the truth comes out that Trump is this, Trump is that, just so they could be right. I don't even want to be right. I don't want to be right with talking about pedophiles and shit. I don't want to be right.
But you are.
But I am. And it's sad.
Look at how the media, like Rolling Stone, especially. I got into this before, but I forgot to finish it. Rolling Stone had embraced the movie Cuties, but when the Sound of Freedom movie came out, they literally described it as a QAnon feature film, and for the QAnon right wingers, and it was like, wow, man, it's really sad.
And it had nothing to do with politics. It had nothing to do with right. You didn't hear anything about politics to Trump or the right or left. It was just about. It was like a true story. It was just a true story movie.
You know, because Tim Ballard actually went and met with Donald Trump when he was working with Operation Underground Railroad, and Trump signed into law and donated a good portion of his presidential salary to aiding to stop human trafficking. And he signed some of the the policies that Trump put in, the policies that you rapped about, day one, Biden undid. And by day two, it was all undone. Every good thing that that Donald Trump had done for America, Joe Biden undid, and people were cheering him on. And people don't realize that, they're so excited that Trump for prison, Trump for prison. And while the Bidens get away with absolutely nothing, everything, they don't understand, if they do this to Donald Trump, if they literally convict him, we are next. They will come after us. You said a good phrase that just resonates, because that is what is going on in this country, is cognitive dissonance. People have got to get their heads out of the sand and get their heads out of their own asses. Sometimes we get it wrong, and that's okay. When you get it wrong, promptly admit it so you can learn from it, and embrace that. Yes, you know what? I'm a human being. I fuck up sometimes. But I think so many people have just, they want to be right, and that pride gets in the way, and it's like, damn, bro, we're not going to advance, and we're still stuck in the 1850s. Please, God, if you're stuck looking behind you, how could you go forward? We need to go forward. America's fucked up. We need to fix it and move forward. And we can't do that if we elect another, or let another Democrat win, which
If
it's
we
just
don't
not going to
address
happen.
the 2020 election, we can't move forward, because
They're
then you're
never going
sweeping that
to,
under the
though.
rug.
They're never going to, because the FBI is involved. The DOJ is involved. We got people still sitting in prison today with no charges from January 6th. We have people that weren't even there. We had a grandmother who had cancer get sentenced to 2 months for having a flag. We have Ashley Babbitt's murderer still on the job as a DC Capitol police officer. They don't want anything to come out. So I guess they were saying that they're going to release all of the footage, everything.
And they
But
still haven't.
right, they still haven't. But here's the thing. You mean to tell me you can identify people and convict people who weren't even there, but the whole riots of 2020 that cost billions of dollars worth of damage, 30 people had died. You burned down churches, destroyed Capitol buildings. They even had a insurrection of the Tennessee Capitol building when the trans shooter, the Nashville shooter, took out those children at the Christian school. That manifesto has never been released, but the white supremacist from Florida, his manifesto gets immediately released. And what else did I want to bring up?
Wait, today didn't it just come out that the leftists, they raided Kevin McCarthy's office in the Capitol or whatever, and there's basically, it's like another insurrection, but nothing's happening to them. I want to see people go to prison for 22 years for that. That's not gonna happen.
No,
You know?
nothing, absolutely nothing. And they can't tell who put the pipe bombs there for January 6th. They can't tell who was harvesting ballots, because they were all wearing face masks. That face
Or
mask
who
was,
left coke in the White House. Like, they don't know these.
look,
Now they
man,
don't know. Now they
it's
don't know.
either you're going to vote for Joe Biden where there's real cocaine in the White House, or you can be a common sense person that loves America. When Donald Trump is in office, the only cocaine or the only Coke that's there is not cocaine. It's Diet Coke, the beverage. I miss Diet Coke being in the White House, not real Coke. It's
Right.
it is so baffling to me.
Why hasn't Obama done anything about this systemic racism problem that we have here? Because the country's systemically racist. So if it's systemically racist, how come you're not getting on the Democrats' ass right now and be like, when you had the House, when you had the Senate, when you had the presidency, what were you doing? What were you
Dividing
doing?
Americans, telling everybody that they're oppressed while he's making bank.
No,
That's what he's doing.
just shut everybody up. And here's Medicaid, here's some food stamps, here's a phone. Just leave us alone and fight with each
Obama
other.
phones, yeah,
Obama
exactly.
phones,
Obama phones, my God, man, I'll
And
never
I read
forget
this
that.
this picture. I have to say it before we are in the midst of the longest, saddest, most excruciating and unsatisfying "I told you so" in the history of the world.
Oh my God, I can't wait, man. I can't wait. So I guess BLM and Antifa overran the Oklahoma Capitol.
Oklahoma
So
Capitol.
where's their committee at? Where are
Right.
they going to go to prison? Oh yeah, that's right. Kamala Harris is just going to share an Oklahoma Freedom Fund, just like she did for the Minnesota Freedom Fund. You know, Cleveland, Ohio didn't have nothing to do with George Floyd, and we had riots and lootings here. You know,
Right.
that just the media needs to be held accountable. They need to be
100%.
held, you know, like Young Turks, all these race baiters. Look, man, I know the most successful black people on this channel, on this platform. They are the most, but they're conservative, and if they're outspoken about Obama or anything, they get shut down and demonetized, just like, you know, it like that. But if you believed that it was systematically, if there's systematic oppression, then you would be pissed off that these black conservatives are being demonetized and deplatformed. But no, because they're conservatives, they're Uncle
Right.
Toms, they're this, that, and the other. No, this is what I hate so much about the hypocrisy. Like you literally claim that everything's racist, but when a black conservative gets deplatformed or attacked, you say not a damn thing. How they attacked Candace Owens, that was a major shifting point with me too. Like seeing that, like, they really treat her really bad, and she doesn't say anything but the truth. And you know, it's just like that term people of color. I hate that, because that's a Democratic plantation term. It is. It's just another way that they're saying colored people, people of color. I'm like, ew, that really irritates my soul. I don't like that. It's just like when you have like somebody from the suburbs and they hang out with like one black person and they start talking like they're from the hood. You're like, and you know, you're looking at him like, bro, are you fucking pandering or what? Because like you
Like
don't
the hot
talk like
sauce
that.
comment from Hillary. I got hot
Thank
sauce in my,
you. Thank you.
and the thing is, they know that she was pandering. They even mentioned, I think Charlemagne mentioned, are you just saying that to pander to black people? He said that, and she goes, is it working?
Yes.
And they don't do anything. And Joe Biden tells him, if you don't vote for me, or you don't know who to vote for, then you ain't black. And he says nothing. Nothing. But they have
Yeah.
nothing to say when it comes to Democrats saying some racist shit. But let's say Trump comes in, speaks to Charlemagne, and says, if you can't figure out whether to vote for me or Joe Biden, you ain't black.
Oh, the whole world would erupt. The whole world would erupt.
It
But
would be insane.
Larry Elder called out Charlemagne the God for that. Larry Elder was
Yes.
like, why
Yep.
didn't you say anything?
And
He
he
goes,
says,
well,
I didn't say it, just like I'm not saying anything now to you. I'm just letting you. No, you have plenty to fucking say. You're just not saying it now because it's a black conservative in front of you. So there's like a new viral video that's coming out. I don't know if it's new or not, but it seems kind of new, where it's black conservatives debating white liberals. It's just so classic.
I'm going to have to react to that one.
Oh yeah, do that.
Look,
that.
It's
really good.
I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, right? We never saw color at all. Like, we didn't even focus on that. We played Barbies, we played in trees, we played at the playgrounds, we rode bikes, we did we were just kids. We didn't care about that. Like today, though, it's so bad. Like, I just can't, like.
And they're shoving it down curricula. My nephew was in elementary school, and he was telling me that he showed us like the quizzes they had. It was very political, very, very biased, and he knew the deal because, you know, he's one of us, and he was in the house. He knows the deal. But he was just so turned off by it. I told my sister, I'm like, yo, if they start doing that, like, you better go to the school and start talking to the teacher, start talking to the principal. Like, what is this shit? I'm not sending him to school so he can learn your fucking agenda of politics. I don't want any politics in the school. I don't want any transgender. I don't want any gay. I don't want any sexual orientation involved in school. They should be learning fucking history, math, science, social studies, whatever the kid. Yeah, I mean, this is ridiculous. And now that they're coming for the kids, I said, angry moms are going to save this fucking country.
Oh, hell yeah, we are. But look, when the FBI kicks down our doors when we go to school board meetings, why is that? You know, the teachers unions are covering up for teachers, saying in Colorado, there's a big thing. I have to give Queen Bee's Art Hive there. A lot of people from Benny Johnson. I've met a lot of really cool people there. They've came over here. I love the truth, and conservative people are not bad people. But anyhow, the Colorado teachers union was caught. There was a teacher that threw him under the bus and snitched, because the teachers union said, listen, we're not allowed to survey these kids to ask them their pronouns or their, whatever name they want to be called by. But if you do it in a survey that's in pen and paper, therefore there's no digital record of this, you can still do it. You're pushing that agenda still. Well, a teacher caught wind of it and was like, threw them under the bus completely. But the teachers unions are 100% corrupt, and they are ran by and funded by these DEI companies, these ESU, social credit score, communist part. Man, people don't think they think it's
They don't think
QAnon.
it's possible. They don't think, but they don't think it's possible because of how privileged they are to be in this country. They don't think it's
Exactly.
possible. They need to talk to people that came into this country from harsh conditions and that what they
Go talk to
escaped.
a Cuban. Go talk
Cubans,
to a Cuban refugee, or somebody that escaped communist China, or somebody that escaped communist Russia, pre-Soviet Union days, like, oh my, or the Soviet
yeah.
Union days. Go speak to them and see. They came here because communism doesn't work. My God, there's some EV company in Michigan right now, I guess, with a bunch of Chinese nationalists like out there, like kill the Westerners and shit like that. And I'm over here going, oh my God, how could this happen under US soil? But China has always said they will destroy America from within its own borders. And if people think it's conspiracy theory, like Bo says, go on and research it. What could it hurt you? They're just
Sure, yeah.
afraid.
Look at these bizarre claims that we're talking about because it sounds bizarre to them.
Mhm.
Just look into it, Google it, but don't just Google it. Look, you have to read both sides. You have to listen to CNN and Fox. You have to listen to Daily Wire and Young Turks. You have to listen to both so you see what you're up against. Now, both are
My
extreme in
God,
their own
Young
way.
Turks, man. No, man, they are so far left. It's not even fun. I can't even listen to Chang for 5 seconds without busting a blood vessel in my eyeball because he is so far left. Like TDS,
Yeah, like you called Trump a loser. Like he's not what? Like
he's just
once
not
what
a good
now?
person. Dr. Rashad Ritchie, neither. He took that pregnant lady's with the city bike incident and he doxed her, put all of her personal information out there. She was kicked out of her home at 6 months pregnant. She was fired from her job as a physician's assistant. I think they both acted like assholes over the damn bike, but it was rightfully hers. I saw the video, I saw the receipts, I saw everything. Now it's oh, I was wrong, and but Rashad Ritchie, you shared him on your page, Jesse Lee Peterson. He and I did a podcast. It was so much fun. Oh my God,
I
I
saw
learned
it.
so much.
I
Oh,
saw
did
it. And
you?
I was on his show too. I called in. I called in. I
He's
spoke to him.
so cool, man. That
He's
is
a
one.
troll. He's a troll. He's amazing. He's amazingly patient. And how he troll and people don't know he's trolling. People think he's really serious. The great what did he how does he what did he call Trump?
The Great
The
White Hope.
Great White Hope.
Yeah, he does it on purpose.
He's
White History
obviously
Month.
trolling.
White
Yeah.
History Month. Yeah,
But the
he
left
does it
doesn't
on
get
purpose.
it. They get
No.
triggered. They leave his show. They walk off. They don't realize he's just trolling. But if you were so solid in your convictions and your beliefs, you wouldn't let this guy bother you. As a matter of fact, he would sound so ridiculous that you would feel bad for him. And you'd try to, but no, instead they get offended. Like, no, well, now you're punching down. Now you're punching down. And I don't want to. So it's like, what are you getting all worked up about, bro? Like he's just
Mhm.
fucking with you. Like, so fuck with him back. Like,
No,
it's
they
just
won't
crazy.
because they get so angry. But Jesse Lee Peterson is such a good man. He's a pastor, but he literally pastors. Like I tuned into his show and he was pastoring Sneeko, and Sneeko has mimicked what is his name? Andrew
Andrew
Tate. He's a Muslim now and all of this, that, and the other. And Jesse was calling him out like, so do you pray 5 times a day? Do you, he's like, when did you start hating your mother? Did you ever forgive your mother? And it was like, wow, man, I learned a lot. And Sneeko
I'm just
now
a little.
sounds,
Yeah, I'm just a little worried about the new generation of young men that are being taught a lot of nonsense, man. I
yeah.
gotta, I'm not saying Andrew Tate's all nonsense or whatever. He does say a lot of truth, but they treat him like he's this perfect god or whatever it is because he does say a lot of truth. I'm not gonna deny that.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I favor him. I like him. I think he's
yeah,
smooth.
but when you start talking about porn is bad, but the person saying porn is bad actually provided porn to the world. I'm sorry, you have to take a step back
Yeah.
and say, okay, I'm listening to this guy, but that doesn't mean he has to be my God. He says some good things, and he says some things that are ridiculous, just like everyone else. Everyone says good things and maybe some ridiculous.
Yeah.
Sneeko, I don't know too much about him. I know he's a young guy.
Yeah,
All,
he's
all these streamers,
misguided. He's just misguided, you know, he is.
he's still
He's
very
trying to
young,
fit
and
in, trying to fit in.
yeah, like he's trying to appease, but I think he's figuring out who he is, and eventually he will figure out who he is. And he's a smart guy, and
Yeah.
he sounds like eventually he will come down to the truth. But right now, with this whole like anti-Israel shit, like anti-Jewish stuff, like comments, I'm not really too much into that, but I'm starting to see that like these kids are like all over the place. They don't have an actual guide. They look at
Right.
people like Tate, and they look at people, but stop looking at people. Start looking at God. Now, if you want to talk about
Thank you.
Muslim, Christian, Catholic, forget about the specific religion, right? Because if you do that, then you're going to have a lot of infighting in the conservative movement. I think instead of talking about Jesus or talking about Muhammad or talking
Talk
about
about
Moses,
God. That's
talk about
it.
God. That's it.
Right.
Just say, I believe in God. I believe in, whatever. But when you start saying, well, he's not a real Christian. Well, he doesn't believe in the God of Abraham. Well, you don't believe in
Gosh.
Muhammad, and alhamdulillah, and it starts going all these different things. It's very divisive, because let's say I'm a Christian or whatever, and I'm not, and someone else is Muslim, and they're preaching their Muslim. Just because you don't believe in Jesus, I'm not going to listen to what you're saying, right? If I'm a Christian, I believe in Jesus. I'm not going to listen because, hey, he doesn't even believe in Jesus. Like, I can't really take what he says at face value. But if you take away religion and you just say, I believe in God, what? I believe in God too. Hey, you're American? Yeah, me too. And then it starts to bring unity to the because if you were to separate our movement into different religions, we're never going to be on the same page. We're never going to be on the same page. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's
one
God
nation
takes precedence.
under God. That's it.
Under
man.
God. Exactly.
That's it,
exactly.
man. But this is a great conversation, man. And if you're up for it, I'll do it again. I'd love to, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to.
I'm really proud of how truthful you are, and I had a great time with you. We had a good thing. If you're willing to do it, do another podcast, I would love to, because we had a strong almost 200 people here. This late at night, and Oakley Turner said something really, really good here. Civics actually learned the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights. How many high school graduates know what the word inalienable as in inalienable rights means? It's crazy, because they don't even know the 3 branches of the government. They don't know what people have to know on the citizenship test, and that's a damn problem. We need to stop putting the trans and the gay rights in school, sexuality, period. There's no need to teach our children anything about race, anything about sex, anything about gender.
I have to say this because now I'm free. But when I used to be a paramedic for the New York City Fire Department, okay, they had us once a year during our annual physical exam. We had to take, for the last few years, a 1 hour or maybe 2 hours, I'm not sure, but it was at least a 1 hour class on LGBTQ and all this different stuff. So they had video footage of different co-workers of mine that are talking about, their sexuality, or like, I was talking to my partner on the ambulance, and he was asking me, you have a girlfriend? I can't believe it. Yeah, I'm lesbian. You didn't know that? And I'm like, why the fuck do I know any one of my coworkers' sexual orientation?
Right.
I'm not here for that. I'm here to be a paramedic.
I'm here to save somebody's life, for fuck's sake.
Now I get it that they're saying, okay, because you might have to adjust the way you treat a patient. Okay, I'm with dignity, with respect. But if I go to a doctor and I tell the doctor my patient's, I have to tell him I have a male patient. I'm not going to say female because he identifies as one, especially if he has a groin injury or whatever. And I have to be specific. I'm not going to say female with a. So stop playing these games. And I felt very uncomfortable in the class. I wasn't disrespectful, but they tried to get us to participate in an exercise by saying, look to your classmate on the right or your left and have a conversation with them about an imaginary date that you had last night, but don't give away the gender. Try to talk about the date, but don't specifically say. And I'm like, listen, I respectfully refuse to participate, but I'll just watch. I'll just sit back. I'm not here to cause
DEI shit is this?
And then once they started talking about kids transitioning, then I was like, okay, now I'm not playing this. And then I just felt so uncomfortable, and I called my union rep, and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I don't want to be in this class. I don't want. And then he goes, unfortunately, it's mandated by the state. If you're
Wow.
an employee of the fire department, mandated by state, you got to go through this class. And that's when it was like the beginning of the end for me. I was like, I am being forced against my will, or else what? I'm going to get fired, like lose my job if I don't want to participate in this class. Like, it's
What about if you were
ridiculous.
Muslim? A staunch Muslim, and you don't believe in that? So you mean to tell me you're forcing people without considering their religious freedoms because you want to coddle some people's feelings? Like my friend Dorinda, she's an emergency room nurse. She says the same thing. So when you say if they have a groin injury, they need to be catheterized, they need to know whether you have a female or a male. Doesn't matter how you feel. Do you want your life
Exactly.
saved? When you're out cold, like this is what I don't get about people on TikTok when they're so blatantly racist, right? They're like, white people this, white people that. I'm like, do you realize that one day you might need a white surgeon that is repairing your heart? What are you going to do? You're knocked out. What are you going to do when you find out after you're alive and well that a white doctor saved your life? Because we don't care about race. We care about we have a patient that is dying, and if we don't intervene, they're going
Exactly.
to die on my table. So we do what we have to do to save this. So what are you going to do? Are you going to rip your stitches and your staples open and rip your new heart out? What are you going to do? Because a white person put in there. You sound so fucking ridiculous. And I pray that you never need intervention like that. And it be somebody that you hate so much because you hate something about yourself that you have to project that. Like this DEI, social credit score, digital dollars, digital passports. This shit can suck it. I am not conforming. I will not lock down. You're not going to give me any shots. F you, F
Especially
you,
now.
F you. I will not wear a face diaper. Some guy got on me on Twitter today, and I looked at his profile picture, and it was him with this blue mask on with a sparkle on it. And I go, are you seriously fucking coming at me with a fucking face diaper on your profile picture, bro? Like, seriously, look
Well, you
at
can't
this.
get mad at him because he was not having like the right amount of oxygen going to his brain at the
It
time. So you can't
has to
really,
be it has to be oxygen deprivation. I've said that. Cognitive dissonance and
Exactly.
oxygen deprivation. What if that's what happened to those liberals?
Yeah, they
Cognitive
don't have
dissonance mixed with a little bit of oxygen deprivation, and look what happened to their brains. Oh my God,
exactly.
we might have just solved the puzzle.
I've seen people jogging in the street alone with a mask on, and now that
Oh,
I'm in Florida, I don't see any of that. And I was like, thank God I'm out.
free at
And now
last.
they're coming back with coronavirus. It's starting to come back with these vaccine mandates and this and that. So they're already starting to rile that up in New York. And I'm like, I think people are opening up their eyes now and they see it and they're not
Yeah.
going to comply. If they complied before, fine, you didn't know. We can excuse it. We didn't know, fine. But now, I'm sorry, there's no way.
Yeah,
There's no
this
fucking
was
way at all.
test. This is only a test of the emergency
Exactly.
broadcast system. We're seeing if your asses are gonna comply with our fuck you.
And
No.
they depended on other citizens that are wearing the mask to police the others. So, that was harder than dealing with the government or dealing with your job. It was your coworkers or your friends or your friend like telling you, guilting you as if you're some grandma killer because you don't want to wear a mask. I mean,
Oh
that's
my
that's the
God.
hard part that you got to deal with. People, like, there was videos of some guys and I'm not wearing a mask and he went to the store and people were fucking hitting him or punching him or putting
Yes.
water over him or whatever.
Like
And
if I see that, Bo, I'm going to jail because you're not going to hit nobody on my watch that's not wearing a mask. Look, it was so sad because in order to fly, you had to have a COVID passport. You had to have paper. In order to fly with my child, he was a toddler. He had to wear a mask, and I'm talking across the country. Like I'm talking like a 4-hour flight, and then add your time. We were in the air and we for 8 hours, 9 hours, I don't even know, from the time we got to the airport to the time we landed, and then still having to put a mask, a surgical mask, on a toddler. Are you kidding me? Like,
yeah,
oh,
no, that's
that's
abuse.
not up
That's
on
abuse.
that's not on your son's nose. If you don't put that, if he doesn't keep that mask on, we're gonna kick you off the plane. I said, so kick me off the fucking plane. He's 3 years old. What do you mean, dude? I don't even like putting this on him in the first place. I think that yeah, you're right. It's abuse. I'm not putting a face diaper on my kid. He don't wear diapers no more. He's potty
And
trained.
then, like, you know, you would eat like this. You have your mask and you eat, and
Yeah.
then you eat with the mask down, and then some like mask carrier behind me was like, excuse me, can you put your mask back on because you're having it down for too long? I don't want to get sick. I don't want to get sick. And I'm like, you're sitting here worried about getting sick. You came on a plane. I get
Right.
sick even when there's no coronavirus. I get sick whenever I'm on a plane. There's so many people in there
Yeah, and then plus
coughing
they
and this, that, and the other.
recirculate the air. You know, these
Yeah, it's
people are
like
so dumb, man.
they're dumb.
Dumb as dog shit, man. Their brains have been fried. I don't know if it's their electric cars or what. I have no idea, man. It just doesn't make no damn sense. All
It's
right, Bo,
crazy.
I gotta head out
Yeah.
of here. I thank you, man. Give my love to the
Thank
wife
you.
and the kids, man. I'm so grateful that your baby is cancer free, man. That scares the bejesus out of me every day. I have these unrealistic fears, but thank you for giving me
At least
over 2
know, at
hours of your
least
time.
know that my kid had everyone praying all around the world, and God actually answered because he could have easily taken him away, just like he was about to. And the fact that he didn't, the fact that he saved him, and it has to be from God because the doctors themselves were thinking like this is a miracle. They said the tumor was so big that it was pushing against his heart and compressing the other lung. They
Oh
were
my
scared to do
God.
surgery because they said if we do surgery right now, like you might lose him. So we had to
Yeah,
give chemo first, and
shrink
for
the
almost a
tumor.
year, shrink it until it's small enough that they can safely remove it. I was
Oh
going through,
my
I
God.
was losing my mind. So that's God answering, and God gave his answer. And that's
That's
how you have
right.
to look at it. Because at the end of the day, you could say, well, it wasn't God, it was the doctors. The doctors are the one that saved him. Well, the doctors can't control my son's recovery. The doctors can't control if he gets an infection out of nowhere. No matter how much they try to sanitize and this, that, it's up to God to let the doctor save him.
That's right.
You
That's
know,
right. That's a great story, and I'm so grateful that I got to interact with you, and I will keep in touch with you. Make sure you just stay as strong as you can and get back on, man. You need to get back in the saddle, and
yeah,
you
I'm
know
gonna try to
you.
get back into it and try to take this serious. I just I hate being famous. I hate things anything being about me because I don't think I'm that special. I just think the truth is very special and the truth needs to be said. And I
Mhm.
think if I have a voice to do it and I have a platform to do it, then all the better because then more people will know the truth and then we can finally move in the right direction because there's too much misinformation out there.
Absolutely. Just remain true to who you are and you'll be
Exactly.
fine. You remain true to yourself. You always remember where you came from and you always say, look, I'm no better than anybody else, but I just want better for everybody else. And then you'll be just fine.
Exactly.
Just keep being yourself, man, and you're going to be just fine. I promise
Right.
you.
Thank you.
All right, Bo. Thank you
Appreciate you.
so much, guys. Make
I
sure you go
appreciate you.
follow. Anytime. This is awesome. So I really do. I appreciate you too, because truth tellers are scarce these days, you know. All right,
Absolutely.
Bo. I'll see you soon. Thank you, bud.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
You're welcome,
Bye.
hon.
Take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. That was Bo Knows the Truth. Make sure you're going to follow him on YouTube. He's on YouTube. He's on Instagram. He is on Facebook. Man, can you imagine? Could you imagine having a number one? You're in one of the most liberal states, right? In Europe, you're a EMT. You leave that to become a podcaster. Your podcast friend, your mentor, he passes away, and then your kid gets cancer. You know, it's like, oh my God, so many roadblocks, so much crap thrown at him, and he's still here, and he still has his faith, and he's still a proponent for the truth. And we don't know everything, you guys. I don't claim to know everything. Do I know that video that I posted the one day? I'm not even going to mention which one because of the powers that be, the report happy fuckers out there. You know, I'm not going to say which one. Do you think I'm stupid? Do you think I don't know? I know. But you know what? It's funny. I like to laugh a little bit. I don't like to take life so goddamn seriously all the time. Who does? I don't. I don't like to take life so seriously. That's not how I am in my nature, and it's not how I am on YouTube. What you see is what you get. And with Bo, same thing. Make sure you guys go give him some love. Show him some love, man. He deserves it. He really does. He's been through enough. And the truth shouldn't make you an enemy. But, to the right people, it does. All right, guys, I love y'all. I'll see you guys later.